Arbor are surrounding the first two games. Game one, Billy Smith accused of swinging the stick at Glenn Anderson, bruising his knee or just above the knee to the point where he wouldn't be able to play game two. Well, Anderson did play. In fact, was chosen as the star of the game for the Edmonton Oilers. Now in the late stages of game two, Billy Smith's stick again makes contact, this time with Wayne Gretzky. From there, you get into a challenge situation. You get into a tirade with the referee involving Gretzky. Smith gets a major penalty, and a few moments later, Lumley, sort of a retaliation, I guess, draws a 5-minute penalty for spearing. All of that is taken away from game number two, and there's been so much said, so much written about it. Let's put it all in proper perspective if we can. How much influence will that have on game three that we're going to watch in a few minutes?
It'll have absolutely no effect on the New York Islanders. I'll almost guarantee that, Jiggs. But as far as Edmonton, it's affected them. It's going to continue to affect them. And I often said that any time that you ask for a team, if you ask for and demand discipline and don't show it yourself, you've got a problem. And Glenn Sather, who has been out-coached, and I can go back and point out a couple of places where he was out-coached, showed poor and almost no self-discipline either during the hockey games or when the hockey games were over in the way he handled the press conferences. And you cannot do that in front of a hockey team that you're trying to tell should be disciplined. That right away, I'm sure that when Bill Torrey and Al Arbor sit back and think about it, that's got to be a big plus for them and their hockey team.
Well, the Oilers are coming out on the ice here. We're going to take a look and see if there are any scratches, any changes in their lineup coming in against the Islanders in game three. The scratches for both teams, as a matter of fact. Edmonton going with absolutely no change. Yaroslav Pozar, a 31-year-old rookie who played in the Chicago series and scored 2 goals, will not dress tonight. That means that Anderson is okay, so is Gretzky, and on down the line, Unger and LaRiviere are also out of the lineup. For the New York Islanders, it'll be the same team that we saw win game two, meaning Michael Bossy is back in the lineup and probably even stronger tonight than he was in game two. Michael McEwen, Paul Boudelier, Greg Gilbert, and Matt Saline, all healthy, but all on the sidelines as Dave Langevin has returned in the series, thus the scratch of Michael McEwen. And now the crowd is giving the New York Islanders a standing ovation as they come out on the ice here at the Coliseum. They have outscored Edmonton 8-3 through the first 2 games. And very confidently, very quietly feel that they have an opportunity to sweep the series in 4 straight. They did that a year ago against the Vancouver Canucks. A lot of people in their predictions, the media folks in particular, did not give the Islanders an opportunity, or at least much of a thought as far as a sweep, let alone in some cases an opportunity to even win this series. But the Islanders are up 2-0, and the Oilers realize that they have to win 4 out of the next 5. That's not to say that they aren't capable. They had themselves a great season. And the thing to keep in mind as well as they come in here tonight is that they are such a good road team. They had the #1 power play on the road over the season. They had a better road record than any other of the 20 teams in the league. And they're going to have to put that to work. They have to get something out of the Nassau Coliseum, or it'll be another long summer of explanations for the Edmonton Oilers. You look at their goaltending tandem. Andy Moog has played every game in the playoffs. Off to his right is Grant Fuhr, who has played only briefly, about 11 minutes in one of the playoff games. But it's all riding on the shoulders of 23-year-old Andy Moog as far as the Oiler hopes are concerned in the goaltending end of it. And there is a veteran of so many wars in the National Hockey League, both as a player and as a coach, Al Arbor. Has his name on the Stanley Cup as a player. And, of course, as a coach. His Islanders have won 4 and 3 straight cups on their way to a 4th. And you hear and see the crowd and the ovation that continues here at the Nassau Coliseum. Goes without saying that the building is jam-packed, a complete sellout. And now this crowd remains on its feet. Joe Dewar with the singing of both the Canadian and American national anthems.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all thy sons command, with glowing hearts true north, strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Now here we go, game 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. The game now goes to the hands of the referee, who is Brian Lewis. The linesman will be Ron Finn and Ray Scapinello. Well, there they tell us it's Gerard Gauthier. It is not. Brian Lewis is indeed the referee, but Scapinello, yes, he is out there along with Finn. And the referee, Brian Lewis, has called the two captains over for a brief conversation as we check out the goaltending for this game 3, as it has been through the first two. Andy Moog for the Edmonton Oilers, and Billy Smith, who has done everything. He has robbed Wayne Gretzky so many times. The old master back in goal with a 2.85 goals against average, coming in here tonight in a record of 11 wins and 3 losses. For the New York Islanders, Brian Trottier goes to center ice. Mike Bossy on the right wing. Clark Gillies on the left side with Potvin and Persson at the blue line. Wayne Gretzky will take the face-off. Jari Kurri is on the right side. Glenn Anderson is on the left wing, and the Oilers have shot it into the Islanders' zone. Fogelin and Lowe move up in the Edmonton defense as the Islanders got it out to center quickly. Fogelin back to Lowe. Kevin Lowe gave it to Anderson as he turned at center ice. Shot it into the Islanders' zone off the glass. Billy Smith leaves it for Potvin, who rounds the net up the right side under the reach of Bossy, who was knocked down by Lowe. And the puck ends up in the Edmonton zone. That's Fogelin with it. Lee Fogelin to Jari Kurri on right wing. Kurri missed Lowe with the pass. Lowe picked it up, got it back to Kurri. Anderson comes over the line. Potvin got a piece of him, and Persson took the puck. Stefan Persson around the board. Strachey had fallen. The puck ends up back of the net. Gretzky slid it right through the goal mouth. Comes out on the near side. Clark Gillies for the Islanders goes rink wide with a pass to Bossy. Into the Edmonton zone. Bossy puts on the brakes. He was all alone. 4 Oilers back, and the puck has come out to center right. Shot back in again by Morrow. It bounced right in front of Moog. And in quickly was Bourne to shoot it wide. Bourne to the line. Here's Morrow with a shot that was blocked. The Oilers move out into center ice. Into the Islanders zone comes Linsman, trying to get in around Jonsson. Can't do it. Tomas Jonsson took Linsman off the puck neatly. Brent Sutter starts out now for the Islanders, joined by Dwayne Sutter and Bob Bourne. Brent Sutter at center, slaps it around the boards. Messier over on left wing is checked by Dwayne Sutter. There's Jackson for the Oilers, trying to move it out of his own territory. Willie Lindstrom was bumped on the boards, but out they come. Into center ice, this is Jackson shooting it into the Islanders zone. Smith leaves it back to the net for Tomas Jonsson. Now to Bourne on the left side. Poked it away from Gregg. And Lindstrom is out at center ice. They're crossed up with his defenseman Jackson. Now Lindstrom plays it up the right wing to Messier. Mark Messier handed the puck to Tomas Jonsson. Shoots it back in wide of the Edmonton goal. Jackson chases it. 2 minutes gone in this opening period. Tonelli is interfered with. But no whistle. The fans react to that as Lindstrom comes to center ice. Nystrom and Lindstrom collided. Buffan knocked the puck away from Ray Cote, and it's loose in the Edmonton zone. Nystrom went in after it, got turned around, and Moog backhands it to the corner for Jackson. Jackson almost handed it to Goring. Now Tonelli got a stick on it, couldn't control it at the line, and here's Lane to Nystrom. Bobby Nystrom into the Edmonton zone. John Tonelli took it out of the skates of Cote, and his clearing attempt was broken up and brought right back out again. Paul Coffey shot it to the Islanders zone. Potvin sends Nystrom down right wing. Nystrom across to Tonelli, lets him drive goal. They've got behind Moog, but he has been able to hold on. They turned around and looked in the net, unconfident, but has held on. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on SportsChannel.
This is it! It's Crazy Eddie's greatest clearance sale ever! Crazy Eddie's soul-lashing prices on specially marked items in his enormous inventory. Stereo equipment, video equipment, color TVs, car stereos, CVs, telephone equipment, disco equipment, and professional products. Plus an unbelievable selection of floor samples and demonstrators, all with full manufacturer's warranties and most priced at or below cost. It's Crazy Eddie's greatest clearance sale ever, going on right now with prices that are insane.
Crazy Eddie, 12 great locations. Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Syosset, Paramus, East Brunswick, Union, Westchester, Westbury, and Norwalk.
Getting ready for a face-off to the right of the Edmonton goals. We watch Wayne Merrick take this draw. They went 2 minutes and 35 seconds without a whistle from the opening face-off.
Players love that, Jiggs. They get into the game quicker that way. They get probably all three, and if they're using four lines out there in that length of time.
Now the Oilers move up. Lumley with Ralston and Semenko have dumped the puck into the Islanders zone. It comes up the left wing. Clark Gillies moves into center ice. The pass to Dwayne Sutter across the blue line. He shoots. That went wide of the net. Vogelin moves it up the right side. Lumley went break wide with a pass for Semenko that bounces off the boards and offside as well at the Islander blue line. Now look at big Dave Semenko as the first goal in the Stanley Cup Finals for the Oilers, to his credit.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Islanders, is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the New York Islanders and SportsChannel is prohibited.
Trache on this face-off for the Islanders against Gretzky, and it went back into the Islanders zone. There's Stefan Persson giving it to Trache, to Bossy. Bossy out to center. Play was broken up by Curry, who turns in the Edmonton end. Now Charlie Huddy around the boards. Coffey missed the pass. Persson held it in for Trache to Kallur. Turns. His shot was blocked by Huddy. Kallur to Bossy, and he was too well covered in front. Langevin in off the left point. His shot hit the referee. Comes bouncing out in front of the net. Cleared by Moog, and the Oilers come to center ice. Anderson on left wing. Into the Islanders zone with a slap shot that goes way up into the crowd. We're going to face off outside the Islander blue line.
Islanders are the fourth team, Jiggs, in Stanley Cup history to lose the first and second games, both of them at home. Toronto did it in 42, Montreal in 66, and the St. Louis Blues in 1970.
And we just heard a little chorus in the background of happy birthday and salute to Dave Langevin, who will be 29 tomorrow. The two Sutter brothers and Bob Bourne, the forward line for the Islanders. Now a little shoving on the far side of the ice. Jackson and Dwayne Sutter. Offside was the call originally. We'll see if referee Brian Lewis is going to take advantage of this confrontation for the first penalties. He is not. He talked to Jackson. He also had a word with Dwayne Sutter.
It's a good message that the referee gives the players at that point. There you see, the New York Islanders never lost home ice. But that's a pretty good chance for him to give a message to all of the players, even the ones on the benches, that unless you force me to call it, I'm not going to call a lot of penalties.
Now he's going to call one here on Messier, who went in with the elbows up, and then Sutter came back with his stick, and we get our first penalties of the game. The Islanders would have had a power play chance had Messier, or at least Brent Sutter, not retaliated on Messier. So an elbowing penalty to the Oilers and a high sticking penalty to the Islanders. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Hi, I'm Steve Wynn, and I run this great place, the Golden Nugget of Atlantic City. Part of the fun of this job is that I get to enjoy the beautiful restaurants and the marvelous food just like you do. But the real magic of this place, the Golden Nugget, is the way the people that work here treat all the people that come here. Which way is the showroom? Thanks, Captain.
Teams are at 5 aside as a result of the penalties, and the Islanders get into the Edmonton zone. Bourne cutting it on the left side, knocked down back of the net, and Randy Gregg clears the puck up the left side. Out into center ice comes Linsman. Over the Islander line, drop pass for Lindstrom. Jackson fed it right back to him. Lindstrom sidestepped the check from Bourne. Holds the puck at the line, starts in, lets one go. Smith the glove save, and he drops it off for Morrow. Danny Morrow comes out as Lindstrom. Got a piece of Billy Smith knocking him down. It was Billy Acting. Kallur at the blue line, gets into the Edmonton end of the ice, gave the puck to Trottier, but now the whistle is sounded on an offside, and the crowd is upset.
Billy Smith trying to draw another penalty. The Islanders had an opportunity, but Brent Sutter, in poor retaliation, got a penalty called on he for high sticking. Look at the dive by Billy Smith. Must have been going to the W.C. Fields School and Art of Acting. Good try, Billy. Didn't work.
Trottier on this face-off. The puck went back into the Edmonton zone where Huddy plays it to the left side. Intercepted by Bossy. Shoots, and it just went wide. The Islanders pouncing on a misplay of the puck in the Edmonton end of the ice. And here's Puffin back to Trottier, over to Bossy. It was off his skate. And Charlie Huddy starts out. Huddy's pass into center ice. Anderson comes over the line. Persson chases him wide, and the play moves to center ice with Bossy. Right, Bossy into the Edmonton zone. Can't get through the two Edmonton players. Persson to Trottier to Bossy in front. He's hauled down. There'll be a penalty here against the Oilers. The Islanders going to the power play. 14:44 left in this first period. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
We are Chevrolet. Take a look at Chevy Citation and see why it has outsold all front-wheel drives over the last 3 years combined. Hatchback versatility with 20 cubic feet of wagon-like convenience. Comfortable room for 5 people. And an electronic fuel-injected standard engine with better mileage estimates than 41 smaller cars. Now get 9.9% financing on new Citations at participating Chevy dealers. Hurry, offer expires May 31st.
Glenn Anderson draws a penalty. Mike Bossy all alone in front of the net. Anderson pulled him down and got a holding penalty. So the Islanders are on a power play.
And here's Trottier handling the puck deep in that Edmonton zone. Into the corner to Bossy. Jonsson and Potvin at the points. The play was broken up, and Gretzky has shot it down into the Islander end of the ice. Billy Smith leaves it for Denny Potvin, who starts out now on this left side over center ice. Shot it into the Edmonton end and got away from Mold. Bossy and after got a stick on it, couldn't hold it. Here's Jonsson at the right point. It goes off his stick, off the boards as well. And Yari Curry trying to clear it, but they're calling a hand pass.
One of the times I don't like to see a team on a power play, Jig, shoot the puck in. Dennis Potvin moving down the left wing side quickly. And he fires the puck around the board. They're on an advantage. They have a man advantage. 4 skaters against 3. Control of the puck, most important. Primary, want to gain the blue line and hang on to the puck.
And the numbers you just looked at are overall in the playoffs in this series. Neither team has a power play goal. The Islanders are 0 for 6. The Oilers are 0 for 11. The Islander power play will regroup deep in its own territory. Potvin, Jonsson, Tonelli, and Goring. This is Potvin carrying it to center ice, right side, intended for Tonelli. It was broken up. Now Brent Sutter and Messier are out of the penalty boxes. Here's Goring across the line. Had to get in around Curry, around Jackson as well, and chases him back to the net, lined him up for a hit. Tonelli clears the puck back to Potvin. Potvin 3 steps in, shoots, blocked in front and cleared to the far corner. Tomas Jonsson comes off the boards. Drops it around the corner boards. Nystrom got it to Goring. Goring back to the right point for Tomas Jonsson. 50 seconds left in the power play as the pass went to Nystrom to Goring. Out in front, it was up in the air, and Tonelli couldn't make contact with it. Yari Curry is cleared at the length of the ice. 40 seconds remaining in the holding penalty against Glenn Anderson. There is no score. Tomas Jonsson's pass out of the reach of Tonelli at center ice. The Oilers unable to get organized. Now here's Potvin with it. Goring comes over the blue line. Goring trying to skip in around Randy Gregg. Dumps it back of the net. It'll be picked up and cleared by Jackson, but he couldn't get it out. Pinelli to the right point to Persson. Across to Potvin. Randy Potvin to Persson. He shoots. Good stop by Moog. The rebound is at the side of the net. Moog, a pad save. It comes right out in front. And cleared by Gregg. The Islanders had some chances, but couldn't put it in the net. Now Persson left the puck for Goring, who slaps it into the Edmonton zone. And that does it as far as the penalty is concerned. The teams are at 6-a-side again. No score in the first period. The Oilers have shot it down the ice. Persson touches up, and we get an icing call against Edmonton. A little pushing after the whistle as Persson took exception to Anderson's present. There's no score in the hockey game. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
If America's roads are giving you more than your share of bumps, Monroe has the answer.
The quality of Monroe products is available now at Crown Auto Stores, in Lynbrook at 445 Merrick Road, in Flushing at 13523 Northern Boulevard, and in Ridgewood at 6911 Fresh Pond Road.
Yes, from now on, America, with Monroe Shocks, the bump stops here.
Face off to the right of the Edmonton goal as we watch Bob Bourne line up against Wayne Gretzky. The Oilers clear the puck behind the net. That's Kevin Lowe. Bourne on top of him as Lowe went to the left side. Anderson, a long pass out of Gretzky's reach. Back comes Dave Langevin. Into the corner to Persson. Up the right wing off Wayne Sutter's stick. Brent picks it up at center ice. Is given a bump there by Curry. Now Lowe's pass is blocked. Lowe recovers inside the blue line. Went to Curry on left wing. Across to Fogelin. Fogelin missed everybody. Has dumped it into the Islander end of the ice. And we're going to whistle here for icing. Now the annual Stanley Cup luncheon comes up tomorrow. And it'll be announced then. And it's announced earlier this evening that the winner of the Bill Masterton Award is none other than Lanny McDonald of the Calgary Flames. A very worthy recipient, 18.
I agree, Jiggs. Very worthy indeed. Not only did he score, 62 or 63 goals, but has been a credit to hockey as he's played for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
That's an award that you won during your career, and rightfully so, too.
I had that distinct pleasure and enjoyed being the Masterton Award winner for a year, yes.
And, of course, as Stan Fischler reported on the pregame show tonight, Orville Tessier of the Chicago Blackhawks has been selected as the coach of the year of the National Hockey League Broadcasters Association, the winner of the Jack Adams Award. Oh, Bossy just moved in and knocked the puck off Coffey's stick. Now it's tied up on the boards, and there's no further play. You talked about Coffey on the pregame show tonight, too.
I talked about the fact that offensively, Jiggs, he has few superiors. Defensively, another question. He's average or actually below average in some eyes on the defensive style, on the defensive end of the game. But maybe because he's got the puck all the time going ahead. But against a team like the Islanders, they're the deficiencies that show up.
Now the Oilers start out of their own zone with a lead pass down the left wing side. Messier cuts in, pad save by Billy Smith, and there's Gillies with the rebound. Checked in his own end of the ice, but Bossy is able to clear it, but not out. Morrow to Jonsson on this left side. Across intended for Bossy. Dipped it into the Edmonton zone, but Gregg got it to the blue line, and Lindstrom takes the turn. Lindstrom overled Lindstrom with the pass, and Messier covers up. Messier across to Gregg. Out into the center ice zone. This is Lindstrom into the Islander end of the ice. Kenny Lindstrom has taken off the puck. It's in the skates of Bossy. And now frozen on the boards long enough for a face-off. Something the Islanders have done so well, and you just saw them do it there as they double-teamed Lindstrom and made sure that he had nowhere to go with the puck, nobody to pass it to.
Players out of the play, Jiggs, can always contribute a great deal, and Bossy is a good example of what happened. He was leading the Islanders up the ice, trying to make the offensive play. They lost the puck. Edmonton's blue line, and guess who got back in time to help trap Lindstrom as he crossed the Islanders' blue line? That's the kind of concentration that all of the Islander lines have shown in the playoffs.
Now the draw here comes back to Huddy, and his shot is off the blocking glove of Billy Smith. He pulls it into his pads and sits down on it. It's come up a little high, but there'll be no damage done at present conditions anyway if they hold true, and we'll get another face-off in the Islander end of the ice.
His defenseman not letting anybody get close to him. There's the rebound. A good shot by Charlie Huddy. Quickly, Smith covers up, and so do his defenseman. There's the shot by Huddy. Watch Dennis Potvin. Now he'll turn and look straight out. He knows Billy's got the puck. Now he looks for someone coming in quickly that might want to try and spear the puck loose. He was not going to let it happen. Gordy Lane had Ray Cote blocked out on the other side, and you saw the check by Dennis Potvin.
Just a little over 11 minutes remaining in the opening period. Ralston against Trottier on this face-off. Ralston poked the puck into the corner. Shot around the boards. Trottier picks it up. And Trottier leads the rush into center ice. Fired it wide of Vandy Moog. Moog covers up in the puck. And we're going to face off at the other end of the ice. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on SportsChannel.
This Bud's for everyone who's got the heart and courage to go the distance. Yeah, just for you. That distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser. This Bud's for you.
Play is underway. The Oilers have just tested Billy Smith with a couple of long shots, and Potvin dumps it to center ice. Coffey didn't wait long enough for his teammates to get back. The offside is called. 10 minutes and 23 seconds left in the opening period.
Plumlee tested Billy Smith from in close, Jiggs. Some of the human element that happened in hockey games. The referee and the linesman had their signals crossed a little bit, dropped the puck, and away they went while we were away. And Billy Smith made two excellent saves, one close in off Lumley.
Now Al Arbor has sent out Wayne Merrick to center for Wayne Sutter and Clark Gillies. Gillies and Hughes arm in arm moved into the face-off area and are backed up by linesman Ron Finn. They'll realign and get the puck drop between Merrick momentarily. Cote on the draw for Edmonton. Came back off Merrick's stick to Longman, then the Pearson. Now to Gillies. Mark Gillies backhands it into center ice. Oilers take over there, and Fogelin has forced the New York Islanders back into their own end. This is Pearson. Moved it up the right wing boards. Merrick comes over, gets bumped on the play by Hunter. The two of them in a battle for the puck. Now Pearson tying up Cote, and there's no further play. And again, some pushing and shoving. These two teams don't like one another. They're very open about that. The Islanders in particular, and their dislike of Edmonton. And a lot of it has to do with things that have happened in the past with the Oilers, not so much centering around this playoff series, but the one a couple of years ago, and the things that the Oilers do, singing, taunting.
Some of the action that spurred the... There's a pretty good elbow. Hunter, as he moved in quickly on Wayne Merrick. More words than actions.
Now Trottier will face off here against Cote as they moved in a little deeper. Trottier got the draw, played it back to Billy Smith. Left it back of the goal. The Oilers pour two men in there quickly. The puck comes off Billy Smith's shoulder, and he covers up on it. They tried to move it loose. It went up in the air, and Billy Smith got a piece of it.
Danger element, Jiggs, when a goaltender moves away from the goalpost and the puck is behind the net. Saw what happened there. The puck came rolling off the side of the net, came up and hit Billy Smith on the right arm. It's things like that that goaltenders generally do not want to move away from the goalpost because it could easily hit him in the back and trickle down into the net.
The Oilers held the puck in from the face-off, and it was shot wide by Cote. Nystrom on the right side. Dumps it into center. There's Merrick chasing it with Fogelin back. They move in together. Merrick is knocked down. The puck loose in the corner. Cote digs it off the boards. Laid it back of the net for Kevin Lowe. Lowe knocked off his feet by Nystrom's check. Now Cote picks it up at center ice. Merrick got a piece of him, turning him around, and the puck is loose in the Islanders' zone. Kenny Morrow sent Hughes to the ice. No penalty there, and Clark Gillies feeds a long pass to Nystrom. Bobby Nystrom at center ice, cuts to the left, across the line to Gillies. Clark Gillies into the corner for Bob Nystrom, out in front, away from Morrow, and it'll slide all the way back into the Islanders' zone. Billy Smith out of the net, leaving the puck for Tomas Jonsson. Anderson went into forecheck. Jonsson goes to the left side with a pass to Merrick. Now to Anders Kallur. Kallur's shot was knocked down at the Edmonton line. Randy Gregg unable to make the play cleanly, however. Now Jackson, a long pass to the right side, out of the reach of Gretzky. Tomas Jonsson chases it. Gretzky dug it away from him, but Morrow broke it up in front of the net. Held in by Curry. Curry to Gretzky, parked back of the net. Gretzky comes out in front, turns, shoots. Smith knocked it out of the air, robbing Gretzky again. It's been that way throughout the series, and here comes Kallur. Kallur across the line. In front to Trache, moves in, shoots all of it off the right toe of the goaltender. Trache unable to pick it up again. Jackson takes a look. Turned to get away from Kallur. Now the Oilers trying to move it out of their own zone. It's stolen by Bossy. Back to Langevin. Langevin from the blue line, shot it wide. Ends up in the right wing corner. Bossy had been knocked down again, and the puck cleared to center. Hairson to Langevin. Plays a drink wide at center, out of the reach of Bossy. Back goes Jackson. Jackson over to Gregg in the Edmonton defense. Now to Curry. Curry shoots it in high. Got away from Billy Smith, but there's Bob Bourne. Bourne and the two centers, the forward line for the Islanders. They failed to move it out of the Islander end. Gretzky chases the puck back in the net. Billy Smith knocked it away from him. Hairson clears it behind the net off the glass. Langevin gives it to Bourne on left wing. Now to Brent Sutter. Into center ice. 3 Oilers back. Bourne across the line. That's a shot goal off the stick of Huddy and up into the seats. We have just over 7.5 minutes to play in this opening period. Neither team has put the puck in the net yet.
Good opportunity for the Edmonton Oilers, though, Jiggs. They had an excellent chance. Gretzky, of all guys, Billy Smith went down, lost his stick, lost his mitt. Right here, his own man. Look at his right hand now. Watch him stick his hand up. He doesn't care. He wants to stop the puck. Boom. He gets it. And he made the save, laying down on the ice. Look at the move by Trache a moment ago as he takes a shot at Andy Moog. Took the puck from behind him, brought it up between his legs, kept his forward motion going, and still got to play at the net.
The chances have been there, all right, but still goose eggs on the scoreboard. The Oilers start out of their own zone. Into center ice. Messier goes to the left side with a pass. Hughes went to center one. Billy Smith scoops it up, and he'll hold it for a face-off. Game 4 of the series will be Tuesday night at the Nassau Coliseum. We'll have the pregame show for you on SportsChannel beginning at 7:30 and the action at 8:05. If a 5th game is necessary, it would return, the series that is, would return to Edmonton next Tuesday night.
A moment ago, you had a good look at the Edmonton Oilers bench. Walking behind the bench along with Glenn Sather, distinguished gentleman with the gray hair. Distinguished gray hair. John Muckler, one-time Long Island Duck player, now assistant to Glenn Sather.
Once upon a time, had a job as a head coach in the National Hockey League. Didn't last very long. He was with the Minnesota North Stars. Some rumor that he'll be back as an NHL coach. The Islanders have just been called for having iced the puck. Well, they'll face off to the left of Billy Smith as you look at the former Philadelphia Flyer, Ken Lensman. Edmonton got him from the Hartford Whalers. Although he never played a game for Hartford, one of those 3-quarter trades made last summer. Both teams making some light changes. Potvin goes to the Islander bench along with Gordy Lane. And coming out in defense, it'll be Tomas Jonsson and Ken Morrow. Bourne is going to take this face-off. Messier on the draw for Edmonton. Messier won the face-off. Here's Huddy from the blue line off the post. He got it by Smith, but off the post on the right side. Now Morrow is bumped by Messier. Able to clear the puck around the boards. Coffey got a shot away that went wide of the net. Lensman went in after it. Got bumped by Jonsson, and the puck is cleared to Wayne Sutter. Now to Brent Sutter. Brent Sutter plays it rink wide in his own zone. Lensman intercepted, gave it to Messier. His shot went wide. The rebound is put right out in front and cleared. Coffey, who's in deep, had a chance, but cleared it wide of the net. Now Lensman goes back to the goal center. Smith clears the puck up the left side for Bob Bourne, and out come the Islanders. Bourne, who crossed the center ice stripe into the Edmonton zone with a shot. Good stop by Moog, and Lensman is back for the rebound. Kenny Lensman played it in front of his own net. Messier was checked as he got to the blue line, and here's Wayne Sutter with the puck trying to close in. Moog kicks that out. Brent Sutter goes to the corner. It's jostled around a little bit on the boards, and they have frozen the puck for a face-off.
Some opportunities at both ends of the ice. Charlie Huddy, what a bullet he let go. Rung it off the goalpost to the right of Billy Smith. The Islanders come bouncing back quickly. Bourne makes a good rush. Let's take a look at the Islanders now. There's Lintzman on Sutter as they tie up and hold the puck. Brent Sutter, then in come Dwayne Sutter. Brent Sutter, there he is. Game 2, scored 2 goals. Couple of beauties. His line impressive throughout the playoffs.
The Sutter brothers from Viking, Alberta. Not far from Edmonton. One of the banners, in fact, in Edmonton said, Viking loves the Oilers. Sutter's move. Bearsong controlling the puck for the Islanders. Went up the left side to Bossy, trying to get in around Fogelin, but the puck got away from him. There's Kevin Lowe. Merrick steps into him. Back of the Edmonton goal. Anderson and Bossy in a battle for it. Merrick there as well, and the puck has been frozen. And again, we'll get a face-off in the Edmonton end of the ice.
A lot of face-offs now, Jiggs, after going 2.5 minutes at the beginning of the period. Players are tying the puck up now. They do not want to cough it up. Coaches will always tell the players, if you're in a position where you can't make a pass and make it good to one of your teammates, better you should tie the puck up. Freeze it, get a face-off.
No score. We have less than 6 minutes to play in the first period as the Islanders have to pick it up at center ice after it was cleared. Langevin to Gillies, went off his stick. Anderson sent Gretzky over the line. He shoots Smith, the glove save. Gretzky just looked up at the ceiling of the Coliseum in disbelief.
Well, he hasn't got that hard of a shot. Billy Smith has not had trouble with him. That was a pretty good shot, Jiggs, but if Messier had shot that puck, or Coffey, that might have gotten by Billy Smith, but for some reason, Billy Smith gets a little more out of stopping Gretzky.
There's a look at 22-year-old Wayne Gretzky, and there in the corner of your picture, you just saw the Stanley Cup. Not the real thing, folks. It is here, and we'll be at the luncheon tomorrow. The puck has just been cleared up over the glass into the crowd, and they'll face off in the Edmonton end of the ice. A look at Robert Butch Goring, number 91.
Not worked hard all season. Played in limited games. Played limited, or had limited action in a lot of the games he was dressed for. As you see him take a heavy hit from Anderson, and his backhand clearing pass behind the net deflected up into the seats.
Now the draw comes back to Lee Fogelin on the Edmonton defense. Around to Lumley. Puffin got a piece of him. Dave Lumley put it out in front. Lowe got turned around in the play, and here's Gordy Lane. Lane sends a pass up the right side to Nystrom into the Edmonton zone with a shot. Lowe cut it off from the short side and held it for a face-off. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
What's a nice family like the Bengroves doing in a place like this?
We're going on vacation.
The four-wheel drive Toyota Tercel wagon is on the move again. Destination, fun. Because this Tercel switches from front wheel to four-wheel drive on command.
There it is.
Wow. And gives the best gas mileage of any four-wheel drive car. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's also spacious, smooth.
Play underway in the center ice zone as the Oilers move up. Low across to Ralston, comes right in. He shoots Smith, the save. It got behind him and dribbled across to the near side. Comes back to Fogelin with a shot. Blocked by Potvin. Lumley centers. Goring broke up the pass, and here's John Tonelli shooting it out of the Islander end. Close call there as Ralston, who had 2 goals in the regular season against the Islanders, walked right in with a blast. Now low to Fogelin. It's broken up at the line. Goring. Butch Goring unable to set up Nystrom, and the Oilers have cleared it to center ice. Back comes Potvin. Kenny Potvin over to Gord Lane. Lane, a long pass out of the reach of Nystrom. Fogelin will pick it up. Lee Fogelin around the boards. Coffey gets bumped by Nystrom, who had lost his balance. Poked up the left side. The Oilers come to center ice. Ralston to Curry. Curry across the line. It's deflected. Ends up in the corner. Curry and Potvin bump. There's Trottier. Shot it around the boards. Got away from Gretzky. Anderson had the stick up on Trottier a little. As the play moves back to the net, we watch Potvin with it. Potvin to Trottier. Trottier to Tonelli on left wing. Cuts to the inside. All the way to the right wing. Into the Edmonton zone. Trying to get it around Coffey. John Tonelli centers. It's on the doorstep, and Moore covers up. Trottier tipping Tonelli's pass. And now Tonelli exchanging words with Coffey and skates toward the Islander bench.
The opportunity came for the New York Islanders, Jake. too much attention went to Mike Bossy as John Tonelli scooted wide. Here's Tonelli. Watch the play here. Brian Trottier deflects the puck. Andy Moog standing in the right place. Got a hold of it and hung on. They crisscrossed at the blue line. Bossy and John Tonelli. Two of the Edmonton Oilers picked up and went with Mike Bossy, and that allowed him through. Here's Ralston a moment ago. Ralston in all alone. Billy Smith made the save, the loose puck. Gordy Lane, he covers for the goaltender.
Close calls at either end of the ice. Now Gregg from back of the Edmonton goal. Starts out on the far side with the lead pass. Cote to center ice. Hughes trying to split through the defense. Does. Comes in on goal, and he overshot it. Loose puck and backhander. Smith makes the save off Hunter. Morrow sends Kallur to center ice. Anders Kallur shot it into the Edmonton zone. There's Bossy for the drive. Big save by Moog. Rache unable to pick it up in the corner. Gregg takes it back to the net. We have 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the period. The Oilers come to center with a pass to Hughes. Played it in around the defense. Picks it up. Hughes put it out in front. Cleared by Billy Smith. Out of the reach of Kallur. Gregg from the blue line. His shot went off Trottier. Ryan Trottier left side to Kallur, but it was out of his reach. Lowe braces his hand, signifying icing, and it is called as Gregg touches the puck. Got a bump from Kallur after the play. But it's been close call time, and Billy Smith has risen to the occasion.
Has he ever, Jiggs? The reason he's the #1 goaltender in playoff hockey. And a lot of people think that he's the #1 goaltender all season long also. Couple of point-blank exchanges stopped by Billy Smith, and at the other end, Andy Moog. Mike Bossy stopped quickly and let one fly. Here he is in all alone again. The Islanders playing very poorly in their own end of the ice. Drop the puck. There's the shot. Billy Smith off Hunter. Good stop by Smith. And he's got 3 Edmonton Oilers all standing around him and not 1 New York Islander.
Now Messier got the puck out in front of the net. There's a shot that was blocked and cleared by Pearson. Low at the blue line. Got a stick on it. It goes up into the crowd for a face-off.
Stefan Pearson wiggling his left arm. He took that shot a moment ago. He went down and blocked the shot right in front of Billy Smith. Made a good save. Islanders look a little confused, a little disoriented in their own end of the ice. Out of position, several players all at the same time. And when it happens, Edmonton gets an opportunity at Billy Smith.
We've had 3 penalties, 2 of them coincidental back at 4:01. Messier and Brent Sutter. Then Anderson took a holding call, and that's been it. Bourne on the left side trying to clear the puck out. Could not. It's centered in front off Lindstrom's stick, and Potvin sends Wayne Sutter over center ice. Wayne Sutter blasted one off the boards. Chasing it is Bourne, and quickly tried to put it out in front. It ends up in the corner. Wayne Sutter centers, but there's Fogelund. Lee Fogelund plays it up the left side. Here comes Messier. Across the line, Messier cuts to the right. Can't get a shot away as Potvin was on him immediately. Brent Sutter starts out. He and Wayne come to center. The play broken up. Brent Sutter recovers the puck. Shot it into the far corner off the boards, and it's cleared by Moog. Coffey rounds the goal. All Coffey to Lindstrom. Missed the pass. Linsman has it now. Linsman over to Semenko on left wing. Dave Semenko plays one around the boards. Potvin back of the net. Moved it up right wing to Nystrom, but not out. Lumley at the blue line. Had trouble finding the handle on it. They hold it in. Coffey shot. Smith the save. Billy Smith comes up big again, and the Islanders will start from deep in their own zone. Pearson to Tonelli. Knocked it away from Huddy. Linsman dumps it in wide of the Islander net. Picked up by Pearson. Stephen Pearson to Denny Potvin. Potvin shoots it up to center and down into the Edmonton end. There will be no icing as Moog comes out to play it. Gave it to Paul Coffey. Coffey flipping it up to the center ice stripe. Johnson moves back. Shot it into the Edmonton zone offside. Breaking the action here. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Hey, what's a nice family like the Vengroves doing in a place like this?
We're going on vacation.
The 4-wheel drive Toyota Tercel wagon is on the move again. Destination, fun. Because this Tercel switches from front wheel to 4-wheel drive on command.
There it is!
Wow. And gives the best gas mileage of any 4-wheel drive car. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's also spacious, smooth, tough.
What a feeling. Toyota.
Face off right at the center ice stripe. The Islanders and the Oilers scoreless with 1 minute and 26 seconds left in the period. Wayne Gretzky lining up against Butch Goring. Shot puck came across to Tonelli, went off his stick. Gretzky for the Oilers to the left side. Nystrom stepped into Jackson with a good hit. The puck went back in the net. Jonsson reached in, knocked it away from Curry. It came out in front of the goal, and Gretzky unable to pick it up. Goring sends Tonelli to center ice. Got away from Anderson into the Edmonton zone and knocked down by Jackson. Tonelli was off balance as he moved in, and now Gretzky steps in across the line, but it's offside. Anderson ahead of the play on left wing. Notice Anderson, every time he gets near an Islander, the hand comes up, either on the shoulder, in the face, on the back.
Sometimes it's for protection. In his case, he's trying to intimidate some of the Islanders. There's John Tonelli with Jackson. Tonelli off balance. Jackson gets the left arm up, gives Tonelli a bit of a push. Tonelli was on one skate, his right skate, when Don Jackson pushed him over. He's big, he's strong, he pushes a lot of players over and knocks a lot of them down. I remember when Jackson first came into the league, he was with the Minnesota North Stars. As you look at the president, he's at his first final game. First Stanley Cup final game. Missed the 2 in Edmonton.
John Ziegler Jr. Now Trache feeding the puck back to Morrow. In front to Kallur, knocked it down, couldn't control it. Out the right side comes Glenn Anderson across the Islander line with 45 seconds left in the period. Anderson's shot went wide of Billy Smith. Trache over to knock it away from Wayne Gretzky. Trache unable to clear it out of his own zone. Anderson is bumped by Morrow. The puck comes bouncing through in front and cleared by Bossy. Smith was out of position, and Bossy, a great defensive play there. Morrow sends Bossy down right wing. 2-on-1 with Kallur. Bossy moves in, shoots, good stop, the rebound is scored! And there's Kallur.
Seconds remain in the period, Jake, from the Islanders. The first big error by the Edmonton Oilers. And the Islanders capitalize. This is a shot by Bossy. Good stop by Morgan. The rebound. Kallur moves in and wrapped it between his legs. With 19 seconds remaining, Kallur gets his third goal of the playoffs. A big one. A disheartening goal for the Edmonton Oilers. They've outplayed the Islanders, outshot the Islanders here in the first period. But the Islanders, as they have done so often, end up ahead 1-0 with 19 seconds on the clock. Anders Kallur gets the goal, his third of the playoffs.
And the play just prior to that by Bossy will be remembered as a key. Bourne clears the puck to center ice. Here's Fogelin. Fogelin heard it to the Islander line. Persson got it to the right side and shot around the boards, and that will do it for the opening period. Standing ovation for the New York Islanders. The goal coming with only 19 seconds left in the period.
Catch all the action of New York Yankee baseball this Monday night at 7:30 when the Bronx Bombers go up against the Detroit Tigers, only on SportsChannel.
I tell you, boss, we're overstocked. What we need is a sale. Let's see. We've got Sealy Twins, Falls, Queens, and Kings. What we need is a sale. We've got Sealy Firms, Extra Firms, and Luxury Firms. What we need is a sale. Murray, what we need is a sale. Good idea, sir.
All Hillside Bedding stores in Nassau are having a Super Sealy sale for the grand opening of Hillside's new Lynbrook store, Hillside Bedding, for the best bet in bedding at unbeatable prices.
Eastern, America's favorite way to fly, now flies to South America. So if you want to get the most out of South America, go with the U.S. airline that flies to the most cities in South America. Call your travel agent or Eastern Airlines.
If you've been putting off those home repairs or driving a car that drives you crazy because money's been so tight, now you can get a goodbye loan from the Bank of New York. Besides home improvement loans, we've got boat loans to help you sail away from it all, as well as loans for new and used cars. So say goodbye to just getting by.
Goodbye, old clunker.
Call Action Phone and apply for your goodbye loan, only from the Bank of New York.
The story from the Nassau Coliseum at the end of the first period of Game 3. The Islanders are leading the Edmonton Oilers 1-0. Shots on goal in the period by the Edmonton Oilers, 11, by the New York Islanders, 10. The only goal of the period came with 19 seconds remaining. Bossy and Kallur broke out 2-on-1. Anders Kallur got the rebound of Bossy's shot, his third goal in the playoffs. Bossy and Morrow get assists at 19:41. So it's 1-0 Islanders. You think of the chances, the shot that Honey let go, that hit the goalpost, the crossbar actually. The chance that Gretzky had, there were so many, many more.
Ralston was in all alone, Jiggs, and
yes.
So was Hunter. Lots of opportunities. Most of the good opportunities had by the Edmonton Oilers, but so often and so many times the score isn't the same as everybody thinks it should be.
And so often, too, Eddie, we've talked about the effect that a goal has in the last minute of play, and this one couldn't have come at a better time for the Islanders if they hope to sweep this series or at least go up 3 games here tonight with the goal coming 19 seconds left.
Oh, we've seen it. We've seen it kill teams so often. And, of course, the play that Bossy made with Gretzky standing almost in the crease. All he had to do was reach out and knock it in the net. Bossy took it away from him. But I suppose when you've scored over 160 goals in 2 seasons, you get a lot of those things happening to you.
You probably do, but at the same time, I think in that period, and I go back to the goal, when it came, we have to look ahead now to what the Oilers' reaction will be. We've talked in the past about the fact that they are a little immature when it comes to situations that present themselves in the course of a game. Situations just like this.
No question. I'd have to think that sitting in the dressing room now, they've got their heads down, where that would not have been the case if this score had stayed at 0-0. Going into the end of the period, and then of course starting the second period. There's a big difference in the mood in the dressing room, and that has a lot on the dictating of how they come out and play the second period, at least at the beginning.
Well, it's 1-0 in favor of the Islanders. Before I throw it to the studio, there have just been informed that about 100 tickets for the Stanley Cup luncheon tomorrow have been turned in. A source that had 100 tickets not going to be able to use them, so they're available now to you fans who have been told that it was sold out. Tickets for the Stanley Cup luncheon will be on a first-served basis, 9 to 11 a.m., I believe it says here, at the Marriott Hotel. On first-come, first-served basis tomorrow, they're $50 each. 100 turn back, chance for a lunch. Got 50 bucks?
I got 100. I'll take you to lunch, Jiggs.
At the end of 1, the Islanders lead the Oilers 1-0. Now down to the studio to Stan Fischler.
Thank you, Jiggs and Eddie. My guest is going to be the man who tutored Al Auber in the art of coaching, the man who is the master rebuilder of the Buffalo Sabres, Scotty Bowman, right after this message.
Where does Billy Smith hit the ice?
SportsChannel.
SportsChannel, the home of the home team.
Love me, Surucci, you got me, Surucci, you got me. Design a style that fits so good, makes you look the way you should. Hug me, Surucci, love me, Surucci, you got me, Surucci, you got me. Hug me, Surucci, love me, Surucci, you got me, Surucci, you got me, Surucci.
Ever get the feeling you'd like your car to perform as well as it can? That's why stunt driver Tom Anthony uses mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobile detergent gasoline. For your everyday driving needs.
The Islanders leading the Edmonton Oilers 1-0 after 1 period. Scotty Bowman is in the studio with Stan Fischler. Let's join them now.
Thank you, Jiggs. And Scotty, your impression of the game so far?
Well, and like we felt before the game, the Oilers are really playing with their backs against the wall. They know it's going to be tough, and I was impressed the way they played, but you know, when it comes down to this, it's goaltending. You can see it. And they had a tremendous period, really, and they're behind 1-0. So you never can tell, but it should be uphill from now on for them, because I was impressed the way they played, but they didn't get on the scoreboard.
Scotty, before the playoffs began, we did a playoff preview, and you predicted that the Islanders had a very good chance of winning the Stanley Cup. Now, that was before a lot of injuries befell key Islanders. Brian Trottier, Stephen Pearson, Dave Langevin, right down the line. What do you think now?
Well, I thought all along that Edmonton, the way they were rolling over their teams, you know, it looked like they might be a team of destiny, particularly the way they handled Chicago. And I felt before this series, though, and I started really analyzing, and I said, the Islanders got 9 players from Western Canada. And, you know, when you have a great team, motivation's a big factor. And, I mean, the way the Sutters played in Edmonton, I mean, they're not going to roll over and not play their game. They probably come from about an hour or two from Edmonton. They're not going to live all summer with that behind them. And I was impressed the way the Islanders really came to play. And like all great teams, of course, they're backed with the goaltending of Billy Smith. And, you know, you don't need that goaltending all the time when you have a great team. But there's some time in the game, there's either the first period or near the end, and we saw it in this series. The first game, no question about Billy Smith really coming up big. In the second game, he maybe didn't have to come up as big, but Andy Moog had a little trouble, and that cost Edmonton the game. And then tonight again, they're frustrated again. But I think the lead time in the game is so important, and I don't know how much Edmonton's been ahead in this series, because they probably are a team, if they could get ahead of the Islanders maybe are a patient team, but they might play a little more wide open, and Edmonton can really bury a team if, you know, if they got the lead and they're taking chances, like Edmonton has the lead. So it's a case, though, you got a lot of experience on the Islanders, and especially when they're this close. When they're this close, it's going to take an awful lot to beat them.
Scotty, what kind of feel do you get about the officiating after the first period?
Well, he's going to let him play. I think, you know, he called a double penalty on Messier and Sutter, and I think it's going to be a flagrant foul that's going to, you know, they're in this situation where if it's a scoring chance, I don't think they'd hesitate to call it. But I think he's going to let a lot of little things go that are incidental to the play.
If your club, the Buffalo Sabres, were in the playoffs against Edmonton, how would you strategy against Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier and all these high-scoring players?
Well, I don't think you can just try to match them up. That's the danger that a lot of teams do during the season, and they run away. And Al is playing, is coaching a great series, but you know, he's got Trottier out for the key face-offs. It was a face-off in the Edmonton end. He used Messier and Gillies, and he throws in Bossy on an extra line. So he's throwing a lot of defense at them at times. He's not afraid. The big thing with the Islanders, Al Arbour is not afraid to play any of his lines. He's got the two-way lines. He's got a Goring, Nystrom, and Tonelli line. He's got the 2 Sutters and Bourne. So, you know, he's really playing his cards well.
You know, in this hard-bitten world of professional hockey, a guy like yourself has to feel some satisfaction. I mean, after all, you were the guy who brought Al Arbour along as a coach. How do you feel about him?
Well, the only regret I have is we were together in St. Louis and we couldn't stay there, of course. There was some people there that, you know, if I could really look back, I could tell you some stories. They said he was like a sergeant in the Army and never be a major, and that was a fatal mistake, because Al Arbour has come along and proved itself that he's molded this team, and he's a patient man, and I think that's the big virtue he has. He's got the respect, and of course, you know, he knows now. I mean, he coaches with the coolness that you need. He's not going to get flustered. He's been around enough to know that the games are played on the ice, and he keeps it very low profile, and I think that's his big asset.
Scotty Bowman, the man who has built the Buffalo Sabres into a contender once more, and now we go back to Jiggs McDonald.
Thank you, Stan. The score at the end of one period is the Islanders 1, the Oilers nothing. When we return, Eddie Westfall will have a look at the highlights of the first period, but first, these messages.
Join Harvey Pack as he puts you on the fast track for the most comprehensive racing coverage on Thoroughbred Action, Wednesday through Monday nights at 6:30 and 11, only on SportsChannel.
There's a certain kind of man who pays attention to how good he looks without paying a fortune to look good. He knows where to find designer clothes, but he doesn't pay designer prices. He goes to NBO.
Hey, you look great.
Because NBO has it all for far less.
Except shoes? Everything except shoes.
We are USA 1, and proving it in Chevy Cavalier. Cavalier's high-compression 2-liter engine with electronic fuel injection gives you more power than the 3 leading imports. And even though Cavalier sedan is shorter outside than Honda Accord sedan, it gives you 6 cubic feet more passenger room inside, plus more room in the trunk. Chevy Cavalier, from America's sales leader. USA 1 is taking charge. Get 9.9% financing on new Cavaliers at participating Chevy dealers. Offer expires May 31st.
Well, the Clarence Campbell Conference champion Edmonton Oilers outshot the Islanders in the first period, but they couldn't outscore them. A goal late in the period, and it's 1-0 favor of the Islanders on Anders Kallur's goal. That wasn't the only highlight. There were a lot of things to look at in that first period, Eddie.
Jiggs, we could look at all kinds of things. We have to go to what was happening in the period, and it was Billy Smith for the New York Islanders and a whole lot of Edmonton players all around him. Let's pick up the action, of course, in the first period, right from a face-off. Let's see what happens. Face-off. You see Butch Goring in to take the face-off. They lose it. That's Charlie Huddy with the puck. Watch the puck carefully. What a blast he let go, and wham. Good stop by Billy Smith. You'll remember that earlier Charlie Huddy rung one off the goalpost. He can shoot the puck. Billy Smith got his blocker on front of that one. Pat Hughes, number 16, on his way down, but Billy Smith has the puck under him. He's not about to let it go. Gretzky had several opportunities in the first period. Here's a shot by Wayne Gretzky in front of Stefan Pearson. Boom, Billy Smith picked that one off. Billy Smith likes to have a little flair of the dramatic. He likes to pick off Wayne Gretzky's shot. Gretzky does not have a tremendously hard shot, but he can get it away quickly, and he's accurate. But Billy Smith read it right. Stefan Pearson got out of the way, and Smitty ended up with it in his hand. Some more action as the Edmonton Oilers pour in. Here's Ralston. He was in all alone. That was a breakaway. He let go. Look where Smith is. Well out on the top. Had he been back any further into the net, that puck was in the net. Smith was smart enough to get well out of his net, cut down the angle. And when he made the save, it trickled between his legs and started to roll back. If he'd just stayed back in the net, that puck would have made it 1-0 for the Edmonton Oilers, but it was not to be. Gordy Lane cleared the puck out of the way. Another opportunity. Pat Hughes. Look at the smart play by Hughes as he drops the puck to Hunter. He was being checked. Look at here, point-blank range, Billy Smith. There's one, there's two Edmonton Oilers before Morrow gets back with Anders Kallur standing in front to clear the puck. Hunter had another fine opportunity for the Edmonton Oilers, but Billy Smith, the star in the first period, kept the Edmonton Oilers from getting anything in his net. Take a look at some more action. Right in front of the net, that's Curry. Morrow on Anderson, and as Curry knocked the puck, it was heading for the net. Mike Bossy got to it first, and here's a shot by Jackson. Watch Ken Morrow. Morrow went down and blocked the puck. Morrow picked up the puck, cleared it off the boards, and away go two Islanders. Mike Bossy with the puck. His best opportunity is to shoot. He does. The rebound, Anders Kallur with 19 seconds remaining on the clock. At the end of the first period, Kallur with his third from Bossy and Morrow. 1941, and it's in the net, 1-0 for the New York Islanders. I told you that Charlie Huddy had hit the goalpost earlier. Let's take a look at Charlie Huddy off the face-off. Bourne loses it, and there's the shot by Charlie Huddy off the goalpost, right there, right where the goalpost and the crossbar come together. Part of Billy Smith's equipment, he'll tell you that. We'll be back for the start of the second period in just a moment. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
This Bud's for all the guys who keep the action from getting out of hand.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
Yeah, just for you, that distinctively clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
The airline that doesn't plan for the future may not have one. 5 years ago, Eastern saw the future in a remarkable aircraft. Now it's here. The new Boeing 757. The most advanced, most fuel-efficient commercial jet ever built. It's going to help Eastern hold down the cost of flying for years to come.
We're His favorite way to ride.
I'm Paul Williams, composer and Grand Prix driver. This is the 1983 Celica GTS. Some good-looking car, and excuse the expression, it isn't short on performance. Watch this.
That's Paul. That's the Celica. And for 83, the Celica GTS has a new independent rear suspension, electronic fuel injection, and even more horsepower.
You know, when I drive a Toyota Celica, I'm 6'2", Dan Gurney.
Sure you are.
Second period just underway with the Oilers shooting the puck into the New York Islanders zone, and it's scooped up by Billy Smith, and he'll hold it for a face-off. Gretzky was out there for Edmonton. The Islanders leading 1-0 on Anders Kallur's goal. Billy Smith has had a sensational playoff before. He's having another one this year. Here's where he scoops the puck up just a moment ago as the Oilers tried to put it out in front of the net.
Concentration. You have to have it. You have to have it at all positions, particularly as a goaltender.
Now Persson has cleared it around to Bourne on left wing. He and Fogelin tied up on the boards, and there's no further play.
Another aspect, Jiggs, of Billy Smith that we don't often bring out, but I'd like to bring it out now because it's very important. He's always talking to his defensemen and his forwards. He chitter-chatter. I remember when I played with him, he'd drive me nuts. But you know what? You loved it only because a lot of times you didn't have to look anywhere to know what was going on. He was standing in behind you, telling you exactly where the other players were, where the puck was, everything. You know, and you just get, after a while, you get to rely on it. And when it doesn't happen, you look back wondering what happened. Somebody hit him with a stick, or is he bitten his tongue?
The Oilers trying to center one out there. Here's Fogelin from the blue line. And shot one off Smith. He probably talks more during the game than we do. Bossy has shot it down the ice, and the Islanders are going to be called for having iced the puck. Yeah, I've talked to several goaltenders over the years who at the end of a game.
Look at Billy Smith, Jiggs. He's turning his back. Look at him turn it on Anderson. Anderson's jawing away at him. He's trying to get the go to Billy Smith. And Smith turning his back on him. Anderson went all the way around the net. Excuse me, I got to tell you about this. There's Anderson. Here's the shot from the point. Fogelin let the shot go. Let's see what's going on here, if we can pick up the action. Billy Smith got a piece of it. The puck deflected wide. I was just wondering if they had it. It was so neat. Billy Smith makes the save. Now there's Anderson in front of the net. Anderson got up jawing at Smith, circled Smith's net. And as he went all the way around the net, Billy Smith deliberately kept his back turned to him, never said a word to him, just let on like he wasn't there and that he was just kind of turning around slowly.
Let me ask you, would he have done that in October, November?
Oh, no, he'd have stood there and threatened the guy with his hockey stick. And that's exactly what the player wanted. So, you know, Billy, he's always doing the other thing. Doing what the unexpected, I should say.
The Oilers keep the puck in the Islanders zone. Yari Curry to the corner. Anderson comes out in front. Backhanded one that went off Bourne's stick. Is loose and cleared by Morrow. There's a penalty call coming. Bourne is going to go off for hooking as Anderson went down in front of the net. A break in the action here. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Manufacturers Hanover invites you to gasp, roam, watch, and cheer as golf's greatest stars compete in the Manufacturers Hanover Westchester Classic. Come join the champions with Manufacturers Hanover.
As it's being written, the official score writing down the penalty to Bob Bourne. Let's see if we can see it right here. There's Anderson. Bourne's got the stick on him, gives it a tug, pulls him down. Anderson, as he was falling, twisted, almost decapitated, accidentally, Bob Bourne. Shouldn't laugh when I say that.
Trache on the face-off. He came back to Coffey to the right side. A shot by Honey. Grabbed by Billy Smith, and he'll hold it. Let me just point out, when you watch some of the replays, every now and then there's a blurb, and you may think that they're experiencing problems at home with your television set. That is not the case. The strobe lights that have been installed by the major sports publications for the final series are interfering a little bit. Maybe irritating to you as it is to us from time to time, but it's there for a reason. And it's just one piece of technology that hasn't been improved upon over the last few years. Well, I guess it has to a degree, but it certainly hasn't been 100%. The Oilers have just tied it up from a shot in front of the net on a power play, and that's the first power play goal for either team in the Stanley Cup Final.
You could see it getting closer and closer, Jiggs, as the Edmonton Oilers were getting opportunity after opportunity. The Islanders have looked poor in their own end of the ice in this hockey game so far. Granted, they were killing off a penalty, but Jari Kurri standing directly in front of Smith. He made the original save. Now look, nobody got to him in time, and it's in the net. The two Islander defensemen out of position. They should have been at least one of them on top of Kurri. Butch Goring got a swat at him. Stefan Pearson was way back in the net, and it's tied at 1 apiece on Curry's 7th playoff goal.
An assist on the goal to Gretzky. He has broken the points assist, or the points record, I should say, in the playoffs, and adds to it tonight with that assist coming at 105. So we're tied 1-1. Potvin clearing the puck in his own zone. Pearson up the right side. That's Brent Sutter to Bob Bourne. Tried to tip it around Gregg, did, but couldn't catch up with it. Here's Potvin again. Steps in over the Edmonton blue line. Potvin went to the far corner with a pass to Brent Sutter. He is tied up in the play. The puck came loose momentarily, back into the pile up of skates, and now Gregg starts up. Andy Gregg to Jackson, gave it to Lindstrom. Or Linsman, rather. Linsman into the Islanders' zone. Potvin got a piece of him, and there's Pearson feeding it to the left wing to Bourne. To Brent Sutter. Back to Bourne, comes over center ice, cutting to the right, into the Edmonton zone. Lets a shot go off the skate, and it's skipped wide. Wayne Sutter in after the rebound. Gets hammered on the boards. The puck is cleared up left wing. Messier chases it out to center ice. Tomas Jonsson back, cleared it. Linsman holding it, waiting for Messier to get back on side. Puts it high in the air. Billy Smith catches it, drops it off, and then plays it up the right side for Dwayne Sutter. To Goring. Goring into the Edmonton zone. His backhand pass was knocked out of the air by Huddy. Canelli falling. He and Huddy go to the boards together, and Cote dropped it back. Coffey to the blue line to Hunter, and across to the right side. Lindstrom and Cote. I get Lindstrom out there yet. Cote has shot it in behind the Islander net. Benny Morrow got a piece of Hughes, and the puck comes to Nystrom. Nystrom carries it down the right side over the Edmonton line. Nystrom goes in deep, turns, comes off the boards with it, back to the point to Morrow. Kenny Morrow slaps it around to the Edmonton zone. Goring came over on the far side. He and Huddy in a battle for it. Now they double-team Goring, forcing a face-off. A break in the action. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
For over half a century, men from all over Long Island have come to Marsh's for the finest in American and international fashions. At Marsh's, you could browse the immense selection of suits, sports jackets, slacks, shoes, and more. In our huge boys department, the fashion needs of the younger man can be satisfied as well. Marsh's professional staff can help you make the right selection. Like Hollywood Clothes for the look of success. See the complete collection of suits, sports jackets, and slacks by Hollywood Clothes available at Marsh's, 270 Main Street, Huntington Village, where you can buy an entire men's and boys' wardrobe under one roof.
Talked about teams winning the first 2 games, or now I'm going to tell you that losing. Only once has a team lost the first 2 games on the road and come back to win the Stanley Cup. 1971, the Montreal Canadiens, Chicago Blackhawks.
71. Trache got a piece of his man in the Edmonton zone. The puck cleared to the corner. Kallur to Trache, put it out in front. It's cleared aside by Moog. Anderson shoots it down the boards into the Islander end of the ice. Jonsson rushes back, and we get an icing call against the Edmonton Oilers. Now the New York Islander Nassau County Summer Hockey School will be staged this summer at Cadillac Park in Hicksville, Long Island. The dates are July 11th till September 3rd. 8 one-week sessions of the Summer Hockey School. If you're interested or would like information, contact Cadillac Park at area code 516-935-3501.
That's the last time in 1971 the Chicago beat Montreal in games 1 and game 2. Montreal come back, won the series in 7 games, and that's the last time a Stanley Cup Final has gone to the 7th game.
Will this one go? We'll find out. Lane shot, toe save by Moog. Here's Kallur into the corner to Trache, out in front. Steered aside by Moog. Vogelin works it around to the right wing. Potvin in off the blue line, got it to the corner, but Vogelin is back. Vogelin played it up the right side. Jari Kurri comes to center. Off Anderson's stick to Gretzky. Gretzky to Anderson. Potvin knocks him down. There'll be a penalty here against the New York Islanders. Potvin taking Anderson down, setting up The second power play of this game for the Oilers. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Dennis Potvin, a holding penalty, goes to the penalty box. Edmonton scored on their last opportunity with Bourne in the penalty box for hooking. A power play goal by Jari Kurri tied it at 1 apiece.
Jonsson gets turned around by Anderson. The puck comes back, a shot blocked by Trottier. He just stepped in front of Huddy's drive, and the Islanders have forced the Oilers back. Coffey picks it up. Goring into forecheck. He and Billy Carroll, along with Jonsson and Morrow, on the points. Coffey sends Huddy up the right way. Over center ice to Kurri. Jari Kurri across to Coffey, but it's offside at the Islander blue line. Delayed reaction on the whistle, and you saw the expression on Jari Kurri's face.
He realizes how important it is not to be offside on a power play. It's back checking for the other team. There's the shot by Huddy, broken up by Brian Trottier a moment ago.
Score tied 1-1 as the Oilers start out again on the power play. Coffey over center ice into the Islanders' zone, bothered by Goring, pulled to the left wing boards, put it out in front. Here's Kurri. Jari Kurri to the blue line to Anderson. Lets a shot go. Smith the stick save. Gretzky chases the rebound. Wayne Gretzky centers. Morrow got a stick on it. It's cleared wide by Anderson. Now Kurri sets up Anderson back of the net to Gretzky. Jonsson knocks it away from him. Charlie Huddy back to the net to Gretzky. Gretzky comes out in front, backhanded it through the goal mouth, then got bowled over, and a check from Goring, and the Islanders have shot it down the ice. 55 seconds remaining in the penalty time to Potvin. Paul Coffey pulled it away from Billy Carroll, comes over center ice with a pass to Huddy into the Islanders zone, dropped it to Anderson, shoots, Smith the save, Morrow pokes the rebound loose. Anderson rounded the net, gave it to Gretzky. Gretzky, a weak pass. Jonsson got a stick on it. Now flips it high in the air and into the crowd between the two penalty boxes.
New York Yankee baseball comes your way Monday night at 7:30 when Billy Martin's Bronx Bombers take on the Detroit Tigers. Catch all the action live from Tigers Stadium. New York Yankees baseball exclusively on SportsChannel.
We have played 5 minutes and 9 seconds of the second period. The Islanders led 1-0 on a first period goal by Anders Kallur. And Jari Kurri got it back on the power play at 1:05 of the second period. You look at Mark Messier.
Something I didn't realize, Jiggs, that the teams have almost identical colors in a different scheme. Yes, but colors almost identical.
Yes, they are. Now Smith around the boards, got the puck to Bourne. He has shot it down the ice. Racing it is Kevin Lowe. Billy Carroll comes out to replace Trottier as Lowe had trouble picking the puck up. Turns with it up this left side out of the reach of Messier. Persson has it at center ice. Stefan Persson shot it off the boards. Vogelin gives it to Lowe. Bourne comes into forecheck. Lowe up the left wing boards, and it was into the skates of Bobby Bourne, and he'll freeze it for a faceoff. Takes a shot at Lowe, who bumped him after the whistle. Billy Carroll exchanges a couple of pushes. They'll line up again to the left of the Edmonton net.
Speaking of colors, you know when that happened the last time in a Stanley Cup final? I just told you, Jiggs, you weren't listening. Montreal and the New York Rangers. Red, white, and blue. All right. Here's a little exchange. Little bump. That little nudge by Lowe. Little push. Lindsman comes in. Billy Carroll. That's really just a little of intimidation. Nothing came of it. Nothing should come of it.
The Islanders have virtually killed off the penalty to Potvin. It has only 2 seconds to go. False start. The puck was dropped, but the Islanders were completing a player change. Brent Sutter coming over the boards to replace Billy Carroll. Persson and Langevin on defense. Lindsman to take the face-off against Bourne. We'll be back with you Tuesday night, Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Final. This one is a long way from over. Tied 1-1. Jackson back in his own zone. The team's at 6 aside again as we watch Greg give it back to Jackson. Jackson cleared it to center. Messier down the left side. Lindstrom couldn't get there in time, and here's Brent Sutter with the puck. He ran into a check from Jackson, and now it's offside at the Islander blue line. We're going to break in the action with the score tied 1-1. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel. Face-off is just outside the New York Islander blue line as Lindsman gets ready to face off with Brent Sutter. Mark Gillies is on left wing. Dwayne Sutter is on right wing at the moment. The Oilers have shot it into the Islander end of the ice. It's Langevin back. Gave it to Dwayne Sutter, then to Persson. Persson around the boards to Gillies on the far side. Gets bumped by Gregg. Langevin moves in, and there's no further play. And again, a little pushing and shoving after the whistle. And again, you get the feeling that we're sitting on a time bomb as these two teams
not quite
at the stage.
You're not wrong, Jiggs. It's not quite as explosive as the tension we felt in the air in Game 2 at the Nassau Coliseum in Edmonton.
No, it hasn't reached that yet, but you get the feeling that it could at any moment just accelerate. Well, when they make a change here, I'll remind you that the Stanley Cup luncheon to be held tomorrow at the Marriott Hotel here on Long Island. 100 tickets have been turned in tonight, tickets that had been sold, and the party which will be unable to attend has turned them back in. They will be on sale tomorrow morning at the Marriott Hotel from 9 to 11. They're priced at $50 per person, cash or check. If you're not familiar with the Stanley Cup luncheon, players, coaches.
Pretty good idea right there. Jiggs,
sorry,
why don't you pick up all 50 of them and bring all your friends?
I wouldn't know what to do with 48. All right. Bossy to Bourne, down to Potvin. He is ridden into the boards by Messier, and Trottier feeds the puck off to Bourne. Comes over the Edmonton line. Bobby Bourne shot. That changed direction and went wide after hitting Jackson. Bourne left it in the corner for Bossy. Bossy back to the blue line. Trottier picks it up at center ice. Now to Bossy. There's it into the Edmonton zone. Drawn out to center. Randy Gregg stick handling to the Islander line. Gave it to Messier. Lets a shot go, and it was wide of the net. It's bouncing off the boards and up into the crowd. 13-12 remaining in the second period.
Take a look at some of the action. Dennis Potvin takes a hard hit from Mark Messier. Potvin probably didn't feel that check as hard as Messier. Look at Messier's helmet. Potvin got his hand and stick up just at the last second, but here he is back again. Messier lets fly with a hard shot, but Billy Smith knows, leave it alone. It's wide of the net. Smith knows just by where he's standing whether that puck is on the net or not. He knew it was well wide. Don't play it. Let it go.
So Edmonton backing into their own zone. Sokolin gave it to Lowe out to center ice. Gordy Lane broke up the play. Here's Goring with it. Had to wait for Lane to get back on side. He'd been knocked down. Now Goring comes in over the line. That's Goring. Turning back to Lane. It was intercepted by Hunter. And the Oilers come to center ice. Hughes into the Islander zone. Went to the backhand, back to the forehand, and Smith made the pad save. Comes back to Fogelin. Fogelin from the blue line. He shoots. That went wide. Kevin Lowe holds it in on the left side, but took a hit from Mystrom. Back in the net. Hughes sent it to Hunter, and he was too well covered. Another penalty coming against the New York Islanders. Gordy Lane gets a stick on the puck, and we get an elbowing call here. It'll go against Lane, so the Oilers will take their third power play chance. As a result, a break in the action. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on SportsChannel. SportsChannel.
Gord Lane gets an elbowing penalty, the third penalty in a row to the New York Islanders. Play has been very seldom out of their end of the ice.
And the Oilers moved right in with one that was deflected as Gretzky went to put it out in front, and Trottier has slapped it into center ice. Here's Coffey. Trottier and Bourne, the Islander forwards. Jonsson and Morrow on defense. This is Anderson, checked by Bourne. Bourne to the Edmonton line. It was knocked off his stick, brought back by Coffey. 3-on-2 as they come over the line. The pass to Anderson. Chased to the corner by Jonsson. Anderson played it back in the net. There's Gretzky. Put it out in front. It's got away from Curry, who blew right up the middle. So the Oilers have to chase it into their own end of the ice. 35 seconds gone in Lane's penalty. Gary Curry starting out for Edmonton. Cross to Coffey. Coffey into the Islander zone. Gretzky trailing. The pass was deflected. Picked up in front by Billy Carroll, but they're calling it a hand pass.
That's not a good call. I would argue that, Jiggs, if I was on the ice. Lewis called it. The Islanders are all after him. And the reason it wasn't is because it was not directed to a player. The puck hit the hand of Tomas Jonsson. And that's not a directed pass. Let's take a look. Here's Paul Coffey as he lets a Hoper pass go inside the Islanders' blue line. Here's the puck bouncing. Tomas Jonsson put his hand out. He touched the puck. Did not direct it. It went off his hand, and Billy Carroll was the next Islander to touch it. He could have very easily let that go, and even Glenn Sather wouldn't have argued it.
An important face-off here. The Islanders thought they had a chance to move it out of their own end, and as a result, they get the face-off to the right of the net instead.
Good point, Jiggs. You should be doing the color then. Let me try the play-by-play for it.
And Trache just won the face-off from Gretzky and has played it around the boards. Lindsman is bumped solidly by Tomas Jonsson. The Oilers with the puck, however. Messier to Coffey, shoots off Billy Smith's shoulder, and Morrow has cleared it down the ice.
Good chance for Coffey again. See, some of the Edmonton Oilers are now trying to go upstairs on Billy Smith.
We watch Huddy starting out. Messier not going down in the Edmonton zone. Lindsman comes over the line with the puck. Huddy shot. Smith the save and went up in the air. Messier took a whack at it, made contact. They ruled, and the face-off will come outside the New York Islander blue line.
Should go all the way down to the other end, Jiggs. They're on a power play, and a stick over the shoulders used to result in a face-off in the other team's end of the ice. There's a close-up look at Gord Lane in the penalty box for at least another 42 seconds. Of course, that's providing Edmonton does not score a goal.
And the face-off has indeed moved back into the Edmonton end of the ice.
You wonder what Al Arbor's looking at. He's looking at the names on the back of the jersey so he recognizes his players.
Hey, gee.
That's just a little pun. Well, his eyes are going down looking along the bench. And as a matter of fact, that's what he's doing. He wants to know who he's going to put out next. He's looking along to find out where they are. He doesn't carry a program to know the numbers, so their names are right there.
Coffey after the face-off sends Gretzky up the right side. Into center ice, got away from Billy Carroll's check, comes over the line. The puck bouncing on him, he fell, and so did Goring. Here's Coffey on the left side. Threaded the needle, and the play was broken up. Oh, Messier had a great chance there, and the Islanders have shot it down the ice. 20 seconds left in Lane's penalty. Andy Moog handling the puck, gave it to Coffey. Coffey into center ice, into the Islander zone with a rolling puck to contend with, and it's cleared out by Bourne. This is Charlie Huddy at center, waiting for his teammates to get back. Now to Messier, who backhands it high and over the glass, so we'll get a face-off into center ice territory with 3 seconds left in Lane's penalty time. Cody Lane shaved the beard off after the first game of this playoff series, the final. Little pushing and shoving. Lindsman and Billy Carroll upset with one another for some reason. The beard is gone as you looked at Lane. The reason why, he said he just wanted Al Arbor to think he was somebody different. Put him out on the ice.
There's the play by Coffey. Across. Shot. Missed by Messier. And then Butch Goring, in pursuit of the puck, was successful in shooting it down the ice.
Now Bourne takes this draw, got it back into his own zone to Persson. Lane is back on, teams at 6 aside. Billy Carroll gets turned around at the Edmonton line, and offside is being called. And again, Carroll involved in some pushing and shoving. Everybody converges right in front of the Islander players' bench. Well, we reached the midway point in the middle period, and regulation time for that matter, as they jostle in front of the bench. Score is tied at 1-1. A first period goal by Anders Kallur. A second period power play goal by Jari Kurri has tied it up. So there's the score, 1-1. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Something foreign on the screen that mentions Hockey Night in Canada. It's because occasionally the switches or something gets mixed up. There are, what, 4 feeds out of here tonight? Or is it 3? Hockey Night in Canada has 2, and of course our SportsChannel feed.
Yeah, and another cable feed. Yeah, there is 4. Going out of the Nassau Coliseum, across the United States, across Canada as well. You saw Moog come out of the net to clear the puck. Bossy came off the boards. It's tangled up with Cote. Gauthier dug the puck loose. Kallur into the corner to Bossy. Mike Bossy trying to slip a check. Couldn't do it. Don Jackson flipped it up in the right side, and out at center ice comes Hughes. Into Cote into the Islander zone. In front to Hunter. Smith the save. The puck goes right back to Billy Smith. Now Trache takes it around the boards and a pass for Kallur. What a stop on Hunter. Offhand back of the net. Trying to clear it around. Couldn't do it. Kallur picks it up. Anders Kallur, there's a delayed penalty in effect. It'll be against Edmonton as Trache comes over center ice into the Edmonton zone. Brian Trache to Denny Potvin. Can't get a shot away, and as Hughes picks up the puck, play is called. The Islanders are going to the power play. A break in the action here. 1-1 tie. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on SportsChannel.
Penalty box. Hunter, Dave Hunter. A penalty for elbowing. Got it up on Dennis Potvin. Here we'll take a look at it. Potvin with his back. There's the arm going up. Hunter draws an elbowing penalty. Not really a vicious elbow by any means. Potvin saw him coming at the last minute. I think that's one of the reasons he kind of wore it off.
Now we watch the Islander power play. Jonsson got it to Persson, to Bourne, back to Stefan Persson. Persson in front. Here's Bourne with a shot off Moog's arm, and it comes to the corner for Dwayne Sutter, to Brent Sutter. Vogelin runs him into the boards. The puck dug loose and cleared out of there by Wayne Gretzky. Minute and 36 seconds left in 100 penalty time as Persson rounds the net. Stefan Persson, right side to Dwayne Sutter. Went to the left to Jonsson, stepped in over the Edmonton line, couldn't get the puck back to Dwayne Sutter, and the Oilers have cleared it. Gretzky chasing it, and Smith comes way out of the net. Billy Smith ahead to Tomas Jonsson. Spun away from Gretzky, but then ran into Curry. Up the puck to Stefan Persson, fortunately for the Islanders, and here's Brent Sutter over center ice. Shot it into the Edmonton zone with 1 minute and 5 seconds left in the power play. Moe got to the net to handle it. It came back to Persson. Centered it in front. Low is checked. Here's Brent Sutter. What a stop by Moe. Bossy shot and wide on the rebound. Anders Kallur picks it up. It's knocked down by Curry. Bossy got the puck loose to Persson at the point. Persson into Bossy. Bossy shoots off the shoulder of Moe. Bossy the rebound. Centers. Oh, it just went wide. And Brent Sutter was knocked down in front. The Oilers have cleared it the length of the ice with 40 seconds left in the power play. Stefan Persson fed the puck up to Trottier. Bossy moves up right wing as well. Drop pass. Bossy with it in front to Gillies, but it's offside. It looked good moving in, but the whistle had nullified the rush.
Only if you're looking in the right place. Challenge of the Sexes doubles tennis comes your way tomorrow night at 8 o'clock when Bobby Riggs pairs up with Mal Anderson and returns to the court to mark his 10th anniversary of his loss to Billie Jean King as they take on the winners of the 1982 U.S. Open. Wendy Turnbull and Rosie Casals, Challenge of the Sexes tennis on SportsChannel. How about that, Bobby Riggs? Hey, hey, hey. Did you see that match 10 years ago?
I don't remember.
No?
Sure.
Billie Jean King.
Everybody watched that?
I would think so, sure. You know, it's the kind of a thing I remember where I was. Billy Harris and I, one-time Islander, watched that in Toronto. It was during training camp. And if I was to tell you that when I was a player, I'd have been fine, because I wasn't supposed to be there. Sorry, Bill.
Edmonton taking a lot of time.
Goal stick for Andy Moog. That's what they need. Lee Fogelin, the captain of the team, retrieving him a new piece of lumber, a twig.
1-1 tie. 29 seconds left in Hunter's penalty as Moog has the new stick and it's ready to go to work. Trottier, Gillies and Bossy, Potvin and Persson on the points. Fogelin had come up at least into the face-off area, and that heads for the bench, and play gets underway with Jackson clearing it to center. Here's Potvin. Potvin, right side to Clark Gillies. Gillies lifted to Persson, to Potvin, to the corner to Trottier. Back to Potvin, shoots one on the fly that went wide. Persson comes in off the right point. Got it back to Bossy, who was covering for Persson. Bossy and Persson moved it back and forth. Persson shot went off the leg and ends up in the seats. 4 seconds remaining in the power play, and they'll face off outside the Edmonton blue line.
Couple of good chances. The Islanders moved the puck pretty good. They got the shots away, Jiggs, but they're deflected. Edmonton covering well, close in, around the net. That's why the Islander defensemen are getting the opportunities from well out. Dennis Potvin, his shot deflected, as was Stefan Persson's, all within the last 8 to 10 seconds.
Now again, they make some late changes and do it slowly. Glenn Sather in particular. In this case, he had sent Hughes over the penalty box to say something to Hunter. Now Hughes slowly skates into position for the faceoff. Cote will take the draw against Goring. Don Tonelli poked the puck into the Edmonton zone, and the teams are at 6 aside. So again, the Islanders fail to score with a man advantage. Then only 1 power play goal in the series, and that's the one that tied it up here tonight. Tomas Jonsson with the puck. Backs up to the blue line. Gave it to Morrow to the left side for Tonelli. Now to Jonsson. Jonsson gets turned around and knocked down. The puck loose. Hunter has it. Hunter, long pass, but way offside as Hughes was about 3 steps inside the Islander blue line with the puck arrived.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, Jiggs. Go ahead. I was going to say Al Arbor must be a little concerned with the way his teams played. They have not commanded the hockey games like they did the first two. They've spent a long time in their own end, albeit they had 3 penalties in a row, Bourne, Potvin, and Lane. That kind of set them back a little bit, but even with even strength, they have not played well in their own end of the ice.
Now Goring picks up the puck, shot it into the Edmonton zone, and Moog moves back in the net. Let it go to Coffey, to Huddy. Charlie Huddy up the right wing boards. This is Dave Lumley with a pass to Ralston, comes over the line. Ralston couldn't get through the defense, picks up the puck again, centers, and it's cleared by Jonsson. Coffey with a shot. Oh, Billy Smith got a piece of that, and here comes Goring. Goring out of his own zone into the center ice. Check, picks up the puck again. Dropped it back to Morrow. Lumley right on top of him. Jonsson to Nystrom, and he slaps it into the Edmonton zone. This is Paul Coffey. Coffey, who's had his chances, flips it into center ice. Gordy Lane chases it for the Islanders. We have just over 6 minutes remaining in the second period. Lane's pass to Nystrom, picked off and shot back in by Coffey, and that's offside. Nystrom went down at center ice. Coffey had the stick up a little bit, but nothing will be called. And here's a look at the Islander captain, Denny Potvin.
Leads the Islanders, Jiggs. Coming into tonight's game in the plus-minus for the playoffs. Something that everybody's a little more cognizant of anymore. The plus-minus. Potvin plus 19 leads the Islanders. Wayne Gretzky plus 22 leads the Oilers. Brent Sutter plus 16 right behind Bob Bourne, who is at plus 18.
And the Islanders lost the puck. Messier comes in on left wing, and his shot went wide of the net. Back to Fogelin at the blue line. That's one goal that hit Gord Lane and bounces to Dwayne Sutter, up to Brent Sutter. 2-on-2 as they come over the line. Bourne heads for the net. The pass didn't arrive as Fogelin got a piece of it. Brent Sutter carries it back of the goal now. Gave it to Bourne. Bourne is tied up by Lowe. Brent Sutter moves in. Bourne has kicked the puck behind the net. Ray Fogelin around to the right wing boards. Lindstrom, the pass to Messier. Now to Lindsman, comes over the line. Lindsman has checked, picks up the puck again, gave it to Lindstrom. Back to Lowe, and he shot it wide. Messier from behind the net. Lane ties him up. Potvin digs the puck off the boards, played it around to the right point. Lowe was there. Fogelin rather, got it to Messier. Messier centers, a shot went wide of the net. Potvin takes a look. Dumps it out to center, and it's going all the way down into the Edmonton zone. There'll be no icing as Kevin Lowe gets back in time. Lowe bumped solidly by Dwayne Sutter, but after he had made the pass across to Messier, and that's stolen by Trottier. The Gillies got over the line, but was checked in the play. Here's Lindstrom to Messier. Messier shooting it into the Islanders zone. Potvin chases it. Potvin to Morrow. And Morrow takes a look. Fired it into the center ice territory. Andy Gregg to Gretzky. Wayne Gretzky backhands it in. Chasing it for the Islanders is Kenny Morrow. Morrow slapped it around, but not out. Jackson shot. That hit Anderson and changed direction. Gregg holds it in at the right point to Gretzky back to the net, and Potvin stepped in front of him. It came out in front. The Oilers center, but it's cleared by Morrow and out into center ice. Randy Gregg has to come back. Gregg backing deeper into the zone. Played it up left wing to Gretzky, across to Curry. Gary Curry into the Islanders zone. Drop pass to Anderson. He shoots that one over top of the net. Danny Potvin comes out of the left wing corner. Long pass to center ice to Bossy. Bossy trying to work around Jackson. Centered one. It was broken up, and here's Gretzky with it again. Gretzky across the line. Lets the puck go. Smith got a piece of that. Billy Smith back to the net. Covered up on it and has held it for a face-off. We have 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining. Period number 2. It has not had the great moments that the opening period provided. The team's a little more tentative, it appears.
A little closer checking in the period, Jiggs. Take a look at Gretzky as he winds. Watch Billy Smith. Gretzky winds up. Smith looks like he just kind of still having a little bit of a nap. Swung his stick at it and deflected it off like a bunter, or a batter, I should say, deliberately fouling off a buck. See Brent Sutter as he watches Bob Bourne and Kevin Lowe fight for the puck. Lindsman comes over. Brent Sutter wants to give him a message. There is the message. Get out of my way.
Now from the face-off from the Islander end of the ice, it's picked up by Stefan Persson. Persson ahead to Trottier to center for Goring. Across the Edmonton line, Goring, a drop pass just out of the reach of Nystrom, and there's Big Semenko. Dave Semenko fires it into the Islander zone. Billy Smith let it come off the boards, cleared it to the corner. Charlie Huddy in deep, went to center one that was off the mark. Persson up the right side for Nystrom. Nystrom tried to send Goring up the right wing, and that didn't work. Coffey plays it across to Huddy, now to Lumley. Dave Lumley shot it in wide. Back goes Persson. Sets up Nystrom on right wing. Ronnie Nystrom stick handles his way into center ice, then backhanded the puck wide of the Edmonton goal. All copy goes back to the net. Trying to move it up the right wing. Tom Ralston got a stick on it. Out into center ice. It goes to Huddy across the line. Charlie Huddy turns. Waits for some help. Put it out in front. Hunter turns off the board. Played it back of the net. Matt Hughes unable to get it in front of the Islander goal. Here's Ralston with it. His shot. Billy Smith scoops it up. Got it off to Potvin. Denny Potvin failed to clear it out, however. Cote off right wing. Drilled one wide. Huddy at the left point. Fired it into the far corner away from Hughes. And John Tonelli dumps it into center ice. Goring picks it up. Comes over the line. Goring cuts inside. And the shot went wide. Nystrom with the rebound. Stops. Can't tuck it underneath the goaltender. And it comes to the left wing boards for Hunter. Dave Hunter across to Cote, who missed the pass. Now picks it up. Came to center ice. Played it to Hunter on left wing. Dave Hunter deep in the Islander zone. Dumped it back of the net. There's Potvin. Potvin to Brent Sutter. Brent Sutter to John Tonelli. Into center ice. The pass to Nystrom on right wing. Bobby Nystrom unable to pick it up, and Kevin Lowe has cleared it out to center. Morrow back. Handed it to Hunter. And the Islanders are forced back into their own zone. Just over 2 minutes to play in the second period. This is Tomas Jonsson with the puck to Nystrom. Got it to center, but Linsman was back. Kenny Linsman sends Lindstrom over the blue line. Willie Lindstrom trying to cut in, and Morrow just reached back and knocked it off his stick in a good defensive play. So out come the Islanders. Tomas Jonsson carries the puck. Jonsson across the line, stepped around Messier, picks it up again. A backhander hit Lowe's stick. Nystrom goes to the far boards. Had trouble handling it. Got it back to the net to Clark Gillies. Gillies being caught up by Lowe. Brent Sutter moves in. The play has been called. We have 1 minute and 40 seconds remaining in the second period.
Islanders trying to come on a little stronger here in the later stages of the second period. Seem to be skating a little bit better. A little more continuity to their attack. Tomas Jonsson leading his team out of the Islander end of the ice. Look at the nifty stick handling by Tomas Jonsson. How's that for tying up Kevin Lowe? Tied up Messier. His backhand shot deflected wide. Clark Gillies was moving in quickly on the left wing side, but Tomas Jonsson, his backhand bid was deflected.
Bob Bourne, Wayne Sutter, and Brent Sutter line up for the Islanders. Wayne Gretzky on the draw. Bourne got his stick on it. Back to the point. Potvin lets one go, and it went bouncing off big Randy Gregg, the Edmonton defenseman. Gregg leads the rush into the Islanders zone. Chase to the corner. Got the puck to Curry. Gary Curry across to Gretzky, and Bourne was in front of him. Bob Bourne comes to center. Got it into the Edmonton end of the ice. Back goes Curry. Curry lost the puck. Wayne Sutter put it out in front. Brent Sutter moved in. Couldn't get a shot away, and the goaltender, Andy Moog, has covered up on it. Face-off will be to the left as you look at Andy Moog. You know, the family was related to those folks that first invented the synthesizer, the Moog synthesizer that makes all those great sounds.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that, Jiggs. You are a barrel, a big barrel of information.
You got that right. Rache, Bossy, and Kallur have come out for the Islanders. Gretzky will take the face-off for Edmonton. Got the draw back into the corner for Jackson. Rache stepped in front of him. The puck came loose, cleared by Gregg. Now Curry sends Anderson into center ice. Glenn Anderson chased to the boards by Terson's check. Jackson following the play. Back to the net for Anderson. He was knocked down by Trache. Curry gets a stick on it. Around to Anderson, who couldn't hold it. Gretzky goes to the corner now. Gretzky to Jackson, and his shot hit Potvin. Comes right back. Jackson shot. Smith the save. The puck went loose. Jackson with it again. Into Gretzky. Centers. Curry a backhander. Kicked out by Billy Smith. Edmonton putting on pressure, and Bossy is able to clear the puck with less than a minute to play. Ended up at the Edmonton line and brought in offside by Brian Trache as Kallur made a valiant effort to get back onside. Couldn't do it, and here's Gretzky over complaining to the linesman.
I don't know what on earth he became complaining about. The linesman called the offside. The only thing that Gretzky could be arguing about, Jiggs, would be that he wanted him to take it down as an intentional offside all the way down into the Islanders' end. He's not going to do that under the circumstances. Ray Scampanello, knowing exactly where the face-off should go on the call that he made.
33 seconds left in the period. You look at Bob Nystrom and the Islander bench. Shot back into the Edmonton end of the ice. Here's Lowe on the left side, up to Dave Hunter. Hunter's pass onto the stick of Ray Cote. Cote's shot went off Morrow's stick. Came out in front, picked off by Hughes. Pat Hughes can't get a shot away. Goring picks up the puck. Time for one rush. He took a look at the clock, gave the puck to Nystrom. Nystrom can't get around Lowe. Kevin Lowe clears it. Morrow with it at center ice, and that's going to do it. Tomas Jonsson with a long shot, but the horn sounds, ending the second period. Edmonton got the only goal of the period. That was back at the 1:05 mark, so we are tied at the end of 2. The score, the New York Islanders won, the Edmonton Oilers won. We'll have a recap following these messages. Oilers and the New York Islanders had a total of 5. So after 2 periods, Edmonton out shooting the New York Islanders 25-15. The only goal of the period was a power play goal with Bourne sitting on a hooking penalty. Yari Curry scores from Wayne Gretzky at 1:05. That's the first power play goal in the Stanley Cup Final. And the score tied at 1-1. The shots on goal may be a little misleading as far as the Islanders side of things are concerned. In the period, 26 thus far. They've outshot the Islanders in both of the first 2 games, but not as dramatically as this.
I go back and talk a little bit then, Jiggs, about the quality and the quantity. They've had not only the quantity, but they've had the quality here tonight. And I don't think Billy Smith, as good as he is, and I've been wrong before, and we all know that, can keep that up, to be able to stop that many shots continuously and keep Gretzky off the board. That's a big undertaking on the goaltender's part.
But of those 26 shots, Eddie, only 2 by Gretzky, those 2 in the first period.
I understand, and I agree. He is not getting the opportunities. The Islanders are watching him very closely. They do not give him the ice. They know when he gets the puck, there's always somebody right on him, making him pass the puck, so he doesn't get a chance to handle it. But he did get a chance to handle it. We're going to show you the goal that was scored in the second period, and it came right from a face-off, the face-off between Gretzky and Brian Trottier. Now watch the way Brian Trottier lines up. He's a star at everything he does. There's no question of his value. These 2 players you see facing each other, battle each other regularly. Watch Gretzky right from the face-off. Brian Trottier went the same way. Gretzky outguessed him, and right from the face-off, Gretzky gets a play at the net, and it's finished with Stefan Persson standing back in the net. It's in the net. Yari Curry, his 7th goal of the playoffs from Wayne Gretzky. So Gretzky outguessed Brian Trottier. Trottier tried to pull the puck towards the net. Gretzky guessed that he was going to and went with the flow, getting the shot at Billy Smith. He had to stop it, but it was a power play goal at 1:05 of the second period. Bourne was in the penalty box for hooking at 54 seconds, and at 1:05, Curry scored to tie it. Edmonton had several more opportunities. We've talked about them. Here's Charlie Huddy. He hit the crossbar and the goalpost in the first period. Here's his play as he goes to the left side, out through center ice. Linsman, as he cuts across the Islander blue line. They've handled the puck with confidence in the hockey game. Linsman on a drop pass, picked up. There's the shot by Huddy, who was following the play. Billy Smith just got his right pad on it. Now you see how that in slow motion. The reaction was not slow. The reaction very quick by Billy Smith. You see Messier take a swat at it as the puck come bouncing off the right leg of Billy Smith. The Islanders had some opportunities. They had but 5 shots in the first period, but they did get some chances. There's Brent Sutter as he shot the puck in off Kevin Lowe's foot. Andy Moog goes back to handle the puck. Shot around the boards, but it goes to Stefan Persson. The Islanders are on a power play. Bossy to Brent Sutter. Look at the backhand. Good shot by Brent Sutter. And that shot by Bossy. 8 times out of 10 he'll put it in, just missing the net. An opportunity missed by the Islanders. They generally do not miss too many of them. The Islanders continued the pressure. They had a good power play. Look at this shot by Bossy. A high, hard one right off the middle of the chest, just below the chin of Andy Moog. And as Bossy tried to clear it in front, Lee Fogelin pulled down Brent Sutter. Fogelin reaches up with his arm saying, I didn't really do anything. No call by the referee. Right near the end of the period, Edmonton break away. You'll remember that the Islanders scored their goal right at the end of the first period, 1941. And here come Edmonton. closing in with Tomas Jonsson, laying a close check on Ralston. Ralston had a breakaway in the first period, but he continued to play. There's his backhand. Tomas Jonsson in perfect position in front of Semenko. We'll be back for the start of the third period in just a moment. You're watching Stanley Cup Final Hockey on SportsChannel.
The Edmonton Oilers to the left. Anders Kallur's goal in the first period made it 1-0. Jari Kurri's goal in the second period tied it up. As you look at Andy Bowles getting ready for the period, Billy Smith has completed his housekeeping chores at the other end of the ice.
Jakes, the Islanders know it. So do the Edmonton Oilers. That if the Islanders do not play better in the third period, they've got a better than even chance of winning the hockey game.
If they don't play better in the third period, it means the series will go back to Edmonton next Thursday night automatically.
Islanders don't want to make that trip.
Neither do I.
Nice city. It's just too bad that it's that far away.
Well, I don't know that I agree entirely with your first statement.
You don't have to.
Here's Lowe with the puck in the Edmonton zone. Got it to Gretzky. As the period gets underway, Gretzky dumping it into the Islanders zone. Billy Smith around the boards, up to Trache on the right side. Couldn't clear it out. Watch Anderson trying to center one. It came out in front. Gretzky shot it wide. Here's Mark Gillies on the left side. Sends Potvin over center ice. Benny Potvin, long pass to Bossy across the line. Shot one off the leg of Kevin Lowe. Gretzky picks up the loose puck. Wayne Gretzky to Kurri, who was off his skates, brought in over the line by Anderson. Then he runs into a check from Persson, and the sticks go up in the air a little. Stefan Persson holding his right cheek, but there's no penalty call. Mark Gillies unable to move it out of his own zone in the first attempt. He gets tied up, comes loose. Gretzky, a shot. Smith, the pad save as Gretzky was about 10 feet off to his left side. Bossy sends Gillies over center ice into the Edmonton zone. Gillies a drop pass. There was nobody there. The Islanders had a player change, and Kurri flipped it into the New York Islanders zone. Jonsson up the left side. Here's Brent Sutter. Past the blue line with a shot. Glove save by Moog, and he'll hold it for a face-off.
Interesting to watch the opening of the period. Take a look. This is Anderson. Stefan Persson got the worst of it. You see the glove in the face, then the stick came across and caught Persson along the right ear. Look at the stick again in the face as Anderson gets the hands of the stick up. Clark Gillies got a little chunk of Anderson. A few seconds after that, there's Stefan Persson as he sits on the bench. Sometimes question a player stop. Persson actually stopped playing because he got hit on the ear. That could be dangerous with Edmonton pouring on in closer to Billy Smith.
Now Cote and Goring move in on the draw. It was in Goring's skates. Got it back to Jonsson and around the boards. Randy Gregg shot it back to the net. There's John Tonelli to Nystrom, a bouncing puck to contend with, and he golfed it wide. The Oilers bring it right out in front of the net. It's cleared up the right side to Hughes. Hughes over on the left side. Hunter trying to make the play. It came off the right pad of Billy Smith. John Tonelli moves it to the near corner. Can't get it out of there, however. Hunter moves in along with Morrill. Cote dug the puck loose, centered off the side of the net, and there's Goring clearing it, but not out. Randy Gregg moves it into the corner. Puck comes off the boards. Hunter back to Gregg from the blue line. His shot was blocked in front. Hunter can't pick it up. It's cleared across to the right wing for Nystrom. Hand pass called by linesman Ron Finn. The referee did not see it. The linesman did, and the whistle has sounded. A minute and 55 seconds gone in the final period. Young Islander fan, a good hockey fan who's here at most of the home games, if not all, missing tonight's game. And we like to send our best wishes along to Scott Rayner, who spent some time in Sloan Kettering this past week. Understand he's home now, but our best wishes are with you, Scott, for a very speedy recovery. They're going to face off right on the edge of the circle. Dangerous spot at a time like this. And the puck comes back to the left point. Coffee shot steered aside by Billy Smith. Lindstrom in after it. He was checked, and Stefan Persson has cleared it down the boards. Ends up at the Edmonton line. Been loose for Messier. Messier tried to send Lindstrom in. He got banged by Langevin and backed into it. Langevin with Wayne Sutter to Brent Sutter. Comes over the line. Couldn't hold the puck. Bourne picks it up. Puts it on goal. Goes back to the net. Moog was out of the net, but Bourne couldn't hold on to the puck. Speedy Bob Bourne just getting back into the play as the Oilers move into the Islander end of the ice. Lindstrom is bumped by Langevin, and here is Stefan Persson around to the right wing corner for Wayne Sutter. Sutter to Brent Sutter. Takes the turn. Bourne goes for a rest. The Islanders continue to make changes as Sutter's shot was grabbed by Moog, and now comes Gretzky. A long pass to Curry on right wing. Jari Curry across to Messier. Back to Gretzky and hopped over his stick, and here's Denny Potvin. Potvin, left side to Trottier. It's across the Edmonton line. Trottier trying to go to the corner. Vogelin runs him into the boards. Bossy digs the puck loose. Mike Bossy back to Potvin. Cuts to the right, lets the shot go. Moog the pad save. The rebound just went wide. Here's Bossy trying to set it up. Out of the corner, back of the net. It's loose in front and cleared. Trottier got a piece of it. Bossy with the puck. Back to Potvin, and he didn't see it in time. Picks it up outside the line. Bossy brings it back into the Edmonton zone with a pass to Trottier across the lane at the right point. 40-lane shot. Change direction. Trottier centers. Carroll couldn't get a stick on it. The Oilers move out into center ice. They're tied 1-1. Curry is checked in the center ice zone, and there's Trottier. Back to Nystrom. Bobby Nystrom spun around by Gretzky and hauled down. Fans are yelling. The referee was watching the puck. Vogelin across to Lowe. Kevin Lowe checked by Nystrom, who's in deep. Moog went back to the net. Lost it for a moment. Vogelin helps out, clearing it to the blue line. Goring and Jonsson there together for the Islanders, but Kevin Lowe is able to clear it for Hunter. Hunter drops it back deeper into the Edmonton zone. Vogelin goes back as the Islanders continue to forecheck well. Now Cote dumps the puck to the left wing side. Hunter into the Islanders zone was checked by Morrow. Billy Smith slaps it into the corner for Bob Nystrom. Nystrom unable to pick it up. Cote has it for Edmonton. Back of the goal to Hughes. And Jonsson came in to take the puck away from him. Jonsson to Morrow. Left wing to Tonelli. Tonelli a long pass out of Goring's reach. The Oilers have it again in their own zone. Hunter gave it to Cote. Now to Hughes. Hughes comes over the line trying to get around Morrow. A backhander Smith the pad save, and Jonsson picked up the rebound. Tomas Jonsson into center ice. Brent Sutter races up one-on-one with Jackson. Sutter trying to cut in. Is chased to the corner as Jackson wrote him off the play. Here's Greg back on the Edmonton defense. Moves it to the right wing. Langevin, a hard hit on Hughes. And Langevin is dragged down behind. The referee looked at it and let it go. Out comes Wayne Sutter on left wing. Wayne Sutter across the Edmonton line. Goes to the backhand. Put it out in front. Langevin in deep. Runs into Lindstrom. Bourne centers the puck back to the point. Persson a drive. Knocked out in front. They bang it in. Bobby Bourne.
It's a good thing they didn't call the penalty, Jake. The Islanders, on their side, they benefit. What a hustle they put on from the drop of the puck here in the third period. Looking more like the Islanders in Game 1 and Game 2. Stefan Persson, he trapped the puck, ripped a tremendous shot. Look at Langevin and Bourne. They flipped a coin as Charlie Huddy tried to get in to take it away. There's the puck in front. Langevin interferes with Charlie Huddy, and in goes the puck, and Bob Bourne, who leads the Islanders in points in the playoffs, gives the Islanders a go-ahead goal, his 8th of the playoffs, and the stands of the people show their appreciation. There he is. What a happy Bob Bourne. What a happy Islander team. They're being outplayed. They're being outshot until the third period.
Well, Bob Bourne at 5 minutes, 11 seconds. First time I've seen you come up off the chair in 3 seasons we've worked together when a penalty has been missed.
I'll explain that. Not right now. Let's get back to the action.
All right, some stick swinging going on. Lumley and Gillies have them up a little bit. They move into the Edmonton end of the ice. And the Oilers have cleared it down into the Islanders zone. Lumley is down trying to get a penalty. There won't be any calls. Now the whistle is sounded. Lumley has officials believing that he was hurt. He went flying, and now Gillies comes back looking for Lumley. Lumley, who carries the lumber hides quite often, draws the attention of the Islanders. He's drawn it not only just now, but you go back to the first 2 games of this series as well. Lumley and Gillies continue to exchange words, and they'd like to get closer, and here's what went on.
If I saw that right, Jiggs, I did not see the initial play by Lumley. I wish I could get a look at that again, but a vicious attack by Clark Gillies across the back. The with the score. The Islanders 2, the Oilers 1. You're watching Stanley Cup Final action on SportsChannel.
If America's roads are giving you more than your share of bumps, Monroe has the answer.
The quality of Monroe product is available now at Crown Auto Stores. In Lynbrook at 445 Merrick Road. In Flushing at 13523 Northern Boulevard. And in Ridgewood at 6911 Fresh Pond Road.
Yes, from now on, America, with Monroe Shocks, the bump stops here.
Well, Lumley is all right, stays out on the ice. Clark Gillies has stayed out for the Islanders. Team's at full strength, and here's Lumley feeding the puck back to the right point. Charlie Huddy into the corner for Ralston. Ralston unable to center. Potvin stepped in front of him, and here's Bobby Nystrom starting out 3-on-2. Nystrom down the right side with Merrick and Gillies. Trying to get in around Coffey, but it was offside as they came to the Edmonton blue line.
First, let me get back to the incident with Clark Gillies, Jiggs. I did not see anything that would require, or there's no necessity for Clark Gillies to react the way he did. Vicious swing. I know that there are times when players do it as a threatening motion. Now, here's the two of them all up against the boards. I don't see anything there that Lumley did, but look at this. Clark Gillies with the stick catching Lumley across the back. Now, if the referee sees that, he has to throw him out of the game. I don't care.
Well, Gillies took some liberties, all right. I'm just thinking, is that retaliation for Lumley and Billy Smith in game 2? Anderson put one out in front. Ends up back in the net. Trottier for the Islanders. Ryan Trottier comes up the left side with a pass to Kallur. Anderson turns Kallur around. Trottier picked up the puck, comes over the line. Trottier to Morrow. That's a shot, but he scores!
We've seen it so often. The Islanders, who were laying in the lead in the first 2 periods, they couldn't be found, have come to life. Ryan Trottier, what a great second effort to get the puck to Ken Morrow. Look at this shot. Inside the lower left-hand goal post. There's the play by Trottier as he got the puck to Ken Morrow. His wrist shot beat Moog. Not a good goal for Moog to allow, but it's in. It did not go in that far into the corner. It was closer to the center of the net. But a happy Ken Morrow as he bounced up and down after scoring. There he goes to the player's box. His 4th playoff goal has given the Islanders a big 3-1 lead.
Trottier and Kallur on the assist for the goal at 6:21. 2 goals, 70 seconds apart, and the Islanders have opened up a lead of 3-1. Dave Langevin back into his own zone. Gets bumped as he went for the puck, then knocked down by Hunter. There's no further play. So with 13:22 remaining in regulation time, a break in the action, you're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Hi, I'm Steve Wynn, and I run this place, the Golden Nugget. When I was a kid, I dreamed of growing up and having the most beautiful hotel casino in the world. This is the Golden Nugget of Atlantic City. It has everything. The penthouses in this hotel.
Which way is the showroom? That way. You're all right, baby.
And Frank Sinatra, too.
The Golden Nugget in Atlantic City.
Getting ready for a face-off to the left of the Islander net. Cote against Trottier in the draw. Linesman Ray Scapanello backs Hunter up on the edge of the circle. Now the puck dropped. It was in Trottier's skates. Came back to the corner for Persson. Now Goring sticking out into center ice. Jackson gave it to Gray. And to Gray across to Don Jackson. Jackson just dumps it to the Islander line. There's Langevin with it. Langevin across to Persson. Off the boards to Goring. Tips it to Nystrom. Nystrom couldn't catch up with it. Goring has it again. He's into the Edmonton end of the ice. Goring dancing through the defense is dragged down. Gray takes control of the puck. Gave it to Jackson. Don Jackson lost it. Here's Nystrom right in front. He shot it over top of the net. Comes to the left wing corner. That's Hunter. Ahead to Cote. Cote moves up along with Hughes as they come into the Islander zone. Stefan Persson broke up the play. Persson to Tonelli. Tonelli trying to clear it out. Bouncing over to Langevin. Now Langevin to Tonelli to Nystrom. Bobby Nystrom shoots it around the boards. Andy Mold moves back to the net to cut it off for Lindstrom. Lindstrom leads the rush. Flipped it ahead. Now right back to Lindstrom. Oh, Bourne almost intercepted that. Lindstrom comes over the line. Lindstrom, right side. Smith the save. Messier in the pocket and cleared down into the Edmonton zone. It'll go wide of the net. An icing call. Charlie Huddy back to touch up. The young man you're watching right there tomorrow will receive the Emery Edge Award. It's a break in the action here. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge. And talk about tough. This stock Chevy S10 took on the Baja 1000, the most grueling off-road event on the continent. It was a totally stock pickup with guts enough to start and finish. And at the Baja, to finish is to win. You can buy an S10 pickup just like it from your Chevy dealers now. Get 9.9% financing on all new S10 pickups and maxi cabs at participating Chevy dealers. Offer expires May 31st. Tough Chevy trucks are taking charge.
Well, if you can hear that in the background, it is not a curling match, as Jiggs McDonald might have suggested. It's sweep. Sweep in 4 is what the fans are yelling.
They've had a lot of fun with their chance tonight. Tuesday night has been the most recent, meaning that the Islanders can wrap it up here if things hold up the way they are right now.
A lot of hockey, though, still to play, Jiggs.
Oh, indeed there is.
Finest offensive team in the National Hockey League is out there against the Islanders.
Here's Bob Bourne setting one up. The shot from the point was took the side by Mold. Gordy Lane moves in on the right side. Centered one that was deflected. Bourne from the point. Around the boards to Dwayne Sutter. But Brent Sutter had been knocked off the play, and out come the Edmonton Oilers. That's Mark Messier on left wing. And he cut to the inside. Gave the puck to Lindstrom. He went hurdling over Bourne. There's going to be a penalty against Bourne.
Now you want to know why I stood up a while ago. I'll explain it. And this penalty, Dave Langevin went in, threw a good check on an Edmonton Oiler fan. Oh, I guess I'm not going to do it now. With the score, the Islanders 3, the Oilers 1. You're watching the Stanley Cup Final action on SportsChannel.
Last one back by the Michelob Light, okay?
You heard her. Come on.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Would anybody really race like this for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light. The rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
Your horse never ran like that before.
He knows my favorite beer when he hears it.
Michelob Light.
The chest and the back of Bob Bourne as they heave, screaming for air. What a game he's played. What an effort. He gets a tripping penalty here on Jackson. No question, there's a trip on the play. That is not the question. The question is, if he's going to allow some of the other things to go, I do correct myself, Jiggs. He was in a scoring position. He had a play at the net, and I'm sure that the referee, Lewis, would say that he did have a chance, an attempt at the net that was taken away from him by the trip. And that really does explain it. I just remembered now, talking to referees before about this particular situation.
It's called tripping at 8:39. Edmonton with a chance to get back into the game if they can get a power play goal. And they come down the right side. Billy Carroll knocked it away from Anderson, and Goring is left with the length of the ice. Carroll and Goring. Now Trache has come out to replace Goring. And on defense, it's Jonsson and Morrill killing off this penalty. Paul Coffey leads the rush. He's got the good speed, but he couldn't make the play there, and Morrill has left it to center.
Very difficult to do it all alone against a stingy penalty-killing unit of the New York Islanders.
Here's Charlie Huddy playing it break wide. Coffey moves up. Dropped it back to Anderson. Into the corner to Coffey. To the blue line to Curry. Yari Curry gets turned around, and the puck is picked off by Trache. Trache and Carroll come to the Edmonton line. Trache carrying the puck. Started to rag it a little bit. Lost it, and now Glenn Anderson takes the turn. Neat move, kicking it back to the stick as he comes to center. Anderson just did get it to Gretzky on the left side. To Anderson, and Morrill stepped in front of him. Kenny Morrill went back to the net. Lost it. Curry sets up Fogelin over to Lowe. To Yari Curry. Curry to Gretzky, and he shot it wide. Anderson without a stick. Kicked it to Gretzky, and he put it right on Billy Carroll's stick. Carroll backhands it down the boards with 30 seconds left in Bourne's penalty. 9 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third period. Goring just broke up Lowe's rush, and now Billy Carroll knocks it away from the Edmonton defenseman. Lee Fogelin across to the far side. Hunter to Lowe, comes over the Islander line, chased to the boards by Persson. The puck comes around to the near corner. Pat Hughes let it go to the blue line to Fogelin, into Hughes. Hughes centers, that was tipped in wide. Comes back to Lowe. Lowe shoots it around the boards. In this near corner, it's Pat Hughes trying to set up the play. The teams are at 6 aside again. The Islanders killed off another Edmonton power play. The puck moves up left wing for Bob Bourne, and he shot it out into center. The rule the Oilers could have played it. There'll be no icing. Fogelin back for it. Merritt comes in to forecheck. Fogelin dumps it into center ice. Pinelli gave the puck to Potvin. Now to Nystrom. Into the Edmonton zone. Taken off the play by Fogelin. Kevin Lowe slaps it around to the left wing for Pat Hughes. Stolen by Tonelli. Tonelli unable to set up Nystrom. Fogelin is checked. Nystrom got a shot that went wide. Ends up back of the net. Brought out now by Kevin Lowe. Lowe dumps it into center. Away from Hunter. Down into the Islander zone. We'll get an icing call here. There's a break in the action. 8:37 remaining in regulation time. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Sometimes it's reassuring to know your car will perform well. That's why stunt driver Buzz Bundy relies on mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobile detergent gasoline. For your everyday driving needs.
Brian Trotier's assist, his 91st career assist, tied him with Stan Mikita for 4th place on the all-time NHL assist list. He needs one more to tie Gordie Howe for 3rd.
Not that far away, and Gordie is here at the game tonight, as a matter of fact. Islanders forced back into their own zone as Messier moved in, got the puck to Lindstrom, couldn't get back to the net. In control of it, and Wayne Sutter ties it up on the boards. Well, we'll have a face-off in the circle to the right of the Islander net.
Big undertaking for the Edmonton Oilers, Jiggs. They're up against a tough defensive team. The thing that the Islanders do best is keep the other team off the score sheet. They cannot do it in their own end of the ice, though, as we talked about coming into the 3rd period. The Islanders know that, too. They can't expect Billy Smith to play the way he did through the first 2 periods. But then again, it's Billy Smith.
15,317 looking on here at the Nassau Coliseum, and we're glad that you could join us on SportsChannel. The puck has been frozen again for a face-off in the Islander zone. SportsChannel will have Game 4, beginning with the Islander pregame show on Tuesday night.
Some of the people that watch the game from the gallery boxes. Pretty good idea of where they sit in conjunction with the seats and the rest of the Coliseum. I should remind everybody, too, kudos to Billy. Not just Billy Smith, Billy Carroll. That last penalty, he spent the whole 2 minutes on the ice. Tremendous job. So kudos, and one of Stan Fischler's yays go to Billy Carroll, who does not get the kind of recognition that he deserves in the roles that he plays for the Islanders.
But the role is so important that he handles it so well. Longman back in the net. He and Lindstrom trying to tie it up. Brent Sutter moved in, has jabbed it loose. Here's Linsman centering off the stick, and it's still in the Islander zone. Jackson takes a shot. Persson went down to block that, and it's cleared up the right wing out of the reach of Dwayne Sutter. He races into the Edmonton zone, gets there ahead of Gregg. The puck flies loose, and now Jackson takes over. Don Jackson tries the right side. They come to center ice. Oilers into the Islander zone. Ralston with it. Couldn't get a shot away as Longman came over to check in. This is Anders Kallur. Dumped it to center ice. We have 7.5 minutes declared. Oilers can't get back into the Islander zone. Longman has dumped it down the boards. Kallur chasing it. Anders Kallur gets tied up on the play. Recovers. And gets sandwiched. Trottier moves in, digs the puck loose to the corner to Bossy. Mike Bossy trying to move along the boards. Got it to Potvin. Back to the net to Trottier. Put it out in front. Bossy gets turned around. Kallur moves in. Can't kick it over to Bossy. Now Bossy and Ralston bump together. Make it Huddy as Ralston comes up with the puck. Ralston there to the line. Held in. Trottier to Kallur. Kallur in the corner trying to take it away from Coffey. They freeze it, and we'll get a face-off beat to the Edmonton end of the ice. 6:51 left in regulation time. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
Thatch can choke a lawn. You can remove thatch by messing up your lawn with a power rake or messing up your back. Or you can use the self-propelled Snapper High Vac with the economical Thatcherizer attachment. The result, a beautiful revitalized lawn. And you come out in great shape, too.
Buy your Snapper now at regular price and get this spring bonus. A Snapperizer or Mulcherizer free with a Snapper Walk Mower, a Thatcherizer free with a Snapper Self-Propelled or Riding Mower.
Well, Tuesday night, Game 4 will be New York Islander Budweiser Fan Appreciation Night. Each person attending the game receives the Islander Budweiser #1 inflatable hand. Tuesday night. Here's Goring clearing the puck around the boards in the Edmonton zone. Nystrom went over after it. Lowe played it away from him. Kenny Morrow got a big goal at 6:21 of this period. Dumped it in. Now Gretzky comes to center ice. Shot it into the Islander zone. Tomas Jonsson cleared it, but not out. Gretzky checked by Nystrom. Jonsson around the boards. Here's Lowe at the left point. Kevin Lowe backhands it into the corner. Gretzky chases it with Jonsson. Jonsson knocked it away from Gretzky. There's Anderson. Morrow checks in. The puck came to the line. Lowe gets a long shot. Smith the save. Goes down to smother the puck and hold on as Gretzky is trying to get away from Jonsson at the time.
Billy Smith, he just tripped over his pad. I think the lacing, yes it is, the lacing has come undone as he gets an assistance from his teammate, John Tonelli.
Time to remind you that the New York Islanders' wives will model in a fashion show to benefit the American Diabetes Association at the Crest Hollow Country Club on Thursday, June 16th. It'll begin at 7 o'clock. For information and tickets, call area code 516-752-1752 for the Wives Fashion Show on Thursday, the 16th of June. It's in the evening at the Crest Hollow Country Club. On the face-off, the puck went to the far boards. Mike Bossy picks it up, taking it away from Anderson. Comes into center ice. Bossy to Jonsson. Jonsson into the Edmonton territory. Got it along the boards, and there's Jari Kurri. Kurri has the Edmonton goal in this game. Kallur stepped in front of Lowe. Loose puck on the far boards. Lowe jabbed it to the Islander line. Taken there by Morrow. Up to the left wing side. Kallur gets turned around. Kurri stepped in front of Trache, and back come the Edmonton Oilers. Kevin Lowe. Into center ice to Kurri. Across the Islander line. Lost it to Tomas Jonsson. Jonsson on left wing. Across the Edmonton blue line. Tomas Jonsson to Bossy went off his skates. Bossy had trouble getting his stick back from Kevin Lowe, and the Oilers come into the Islander zone. Bring it back. This is Kurri to Messier. He shoots that one way wide of the net. Good passing play. Good chance. Now Jackson's long shot blocked by Tomas Jonsson. It's in his equipment, and he holds it for a face-off.
Close call there, Jiggs. Messier, he can skate and he can shoot, and he's a smart hockey player. Just put it inches wide of the goalpost to the left of Billy Smith on a fine passing play by the Edmonton Oilers. As the attack came across the Islander blue line, Messier trailed by quite a bit, but they got the puck to him. His shot went wide.
You scan the Islander bench, you scan the scoreboard. And relegated to the end of the bench for the last few shifts has been Clark Gillies. Think back to that stick swinging thing. Al Arbour, perhaps not wanting him to get involved in anything like that, has kept him.
Well, Al Arbour knows his players very well, Jiggs, and what he wants to do is probably give Clark Gillies a chance to cool off.
Islanders just iced the puck. 5 minutes and 3 seconds left.
Upcoming events, of course, the Islanders will play Edmonton Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. Pre-game show at 7:30. San Diego at the New York Mets Wednesday night at 7:30. New York Yankees at Detroit Monday night at 7:30. Challenge of the Sexes tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. And Thoroughbred Racing Wednesday through Monday nights at 6:30 and 11.
On the drop, Brent Sutter pulled the puck back to Langevin. Marks back to the net. Linsman into forecheck. Langevin tries the left side. It goes all the way down the ice. Brent Sutter chasing it. He'll get there first. No icing call. Greg went one way, Sutter the other, and that really wasn't the best play of the game as far as Greg was concerned. And now he is questioning it with the referee, but we'll get a face-off in the Edmonton zone. You're watching the Stanley Cup Finals on SportsChannel.
While most air freight companies spend the day on the ground, racing to pick up small packages so they can deliver them overnight, someone is already delivering them the same day. Eastern Airlines. Eastern Sprint service guarantees you small package delivery to over 90 cities the same day, or you don't pay. The guys who fly by night can't do that. Eastern Sprint, when it definitely, unquestionably has to be there today.
Jiggs, in the third period, Edmonton has scored 28 goals, allowing 17. The Islanders, 31 goals and allowed 14. That's in the playoffs? Yes. Yes. Pothad has just cleared the puck down the left side. Fortunelli comes over the Edmonton line, trying to walk in around the defense. Huddy took him off the puck. Nystrom shot is blocked. The rebound, and Moog is covered up on that. Tonelli, first, second, and third efforts by the Islanders. John Tonelli, we've seen it so many times before. And right with him, Bob Nystrom. Let's watch John Tonelli. Here he comes down on Huddy. Thought he had him beat. Huddy cut him off. Good play by Huddy. But look at the second effort by Tonelli. Look at Bobby Nystrom as he came in to help him. And right there, John Tonelli being checked and pulled down by Huddy. Got a shot away anyway. Now the Oilers just shoot it down the ice into the Islanders zone. Potvin will pick it up. And Edmonton calls for icing. We have 4 minutes and 17 seconds remaining. The Islanders leading 3-1. This holds up. They'll go to Game 4 on Tuesday night with an opportunity to sweep the series. One of the many banners, signs here tonight. Recipe for a legend at 1/4 cup. Chef like you pick up on that immediately. It's Goring, Nystrom, and Tonelli up front for the Islanders. Jonsson and Morrow on defense. Wayne Gretzky ready to take the face-off for Edmonton. He has an assist in this game, at 2 in the second game of the series, but has not scored. Here's Goring with a drive. That one high and wide, bounces back to the left point. Jonsson in around the boards. Goring with it back of the net. It's a little off balance, and the Oilers are able to clear it for Wayne Gretzky. Gretzky backhands it up the right side. This is Charlie Huddy. Huddy flips it into the Islanders zone, wide of Billy Smith. Morrow is back, knocked it away from Hughes. Goring comes over, Coffey centers, that's cleared. John Tonelli on this left side, unable to move it out of his own zone. Now Jonsson slapping at it, and he got it into center ice. Huddy with Nystrom right on top of it. Huddy across to Coffey, his pass went off Tonelli. Here's Jonsson with it. Jonsson to Tonelli. Tonelli comes over the Edmonton line, cuts to the right. John Tonelli turns, shoots, and that one off the stick and into the seats. Close call. Edmonton opted to back off Jiggs. They move right back in and move. 3 of the Edmonton Oilers covering 2 Islanders. John Tonelli got the shot away, but they deflected it up into the seats. The defenseman, Huddy, got a piece of it. Let me just remind you again of the Stanley Cup luncheon at noon tomorrow at the Marriott Hotel next door to the Nassau Coliseum. Some tickets were made available tonight. They will be on sale tomorrow morning on a first-come, first-served basis, beginning at 9 o'clock at the Marriott Hotel. Honoring both teams, some awards to be presented tomorrow. Here's Bob Bourne putting it out in front. Sutter's backhander. They score! Bourne Sutter on the rebound. You give them an inch, they'll take a mile. The Islanders pound it into the net. Bourne, Sutter, Brent Sutter, and Dwayne Sutter. They do it again. There's Bourne around Fogelin. Puts it out in front. Moog got a piece of it, but the backhand shot by Brent Sutter. The rebound laid there, and Dwayne Sutter hammered it into the lower right-hand corner before any of the Edmonton Oilers could cover on them. They've done it again. There's the shot, the rebound, and it's in behind. Good reflex action by Dwayne Sutter from in close. And there's the message. It's in the net. Yay for us. 3:17 remaining, and the Islanders lead 4-1. The goal at 16:43, and the puck back into the Edmonton end of the ice. Ralston slaps it out into center ice. There's Longman to Gillies, who's out again. He just shot it in offside. Bob Bourne and Brent Sutter get assists on the goal. So Bourne, with a goal and an assist here tonight, now has 28 points in the playoffs this year. I think it was Newsday that carried a story just prior to the playoffs. How the psychic, whose name I forget and I apologize to her, envisioned number 14 involved in the Islander playoffs this year.
She hit it right on the money, didn't she?
Also,
I'm going to go see that lady. You may not like it. Probably.
Different person to work with, Jake.
You had to say that, huh? Merrick. Now Gillies moves in the Edmonton zone. Was checked from behind. Up this right side comes Dave Plumlee across to Semenko to Ralston. Ralston at the Islander line is checked. Merrick picks it up. Wayne Merrick forces the Oilers to go back. We have 2.5 minutes remaining in regulation time, and the Islanders lead it 4-1. Dave Plumlee across to the left side. It's shot into the Islander zone by Ralston. Billy Smith leaves it for Gord Lane. Off the boards, here's Trottier clearing it out to center ice. Picked up by Cote. Steps back and over the line. Lane got a piece of him. Trottier picked up the puck. Trottier to Kallur. Kallur on the left side. Drop pass for Bossy. Plays it rink wide. Trottier chasing it. It came off the boards to Paul Coffey. Coffey to Hughes. Comes down the right side into the Islander end of the ice. Waltzes in around Potvin. Then got turned around. The puck went to Smith. He scoops it up and holds it. Cote came in. Tried to knock it out of Smith's glove, but nothing more than that with 1 minute and 54 seconds left. If Billy Smith has ever had a better playoff game, I don't recall it.
Tremendous playoff. Here again is the goal as Bourne beat Fogelin on the outside. There's the shot by Brent Sutter. And before the goaltender, Andy Moog, could get a hold of it, Dwayne Sutter had hammered it in behind him. The reaction by the fans as they stand up on the matrix board. They showed 3 Stanley Cups, symbolic of what the Islanders have accomplished over the last 3 years. And it also quoted, "We want 4."
Now the Islanders have forced Edmonton to have to win 4 straight if they're not to win 4 consecutive cups. Potvin and Hughes on the corner boards. Trottier got it to Bourne. Checked in his own end of the ice. Now Potvin went to clear one out that was blocked. Here's Hunter out of the corner, back to the net. Hughes went to center one. And Billy Smith smothered it right at the side of the goal. We'll get a face-off again with 1 minute and 36 seconds left.
Frustrating to a team like Edmonton or any other team, Jiggs. They've thrown everything they could at the Islanders and Billy Smith. Their offense recognized by everybody as being the most potent all season long. Billy Smith, if they got by the rest of the Islanders, which they did time and again, Mr. Goalie, Billy Smith slammed the door again.
Now the fans chanting sweep. Cote against Trottier in the draw. The puck headed up underneath Jonsson, then cleared around behind the net. Hunter in the wrestling match grabs a hold of Bossy. We're going to get a penalty. Maybe more as everybody converges and the sticks come up high, but Hunter just reached out and grabbed a hold of Bossy.
Frustration on the side of Edmonton. The discipline is breaking down again, Jiggs. 1 minute and 27 seconds. And what Edmonton are saying, or what at least Hunter is saying, is that we recognize the game is over as far as the score is concerned. So, he wrestles with a couple of the Islanders. Bossy he wants after. Of course he wants Bossy. Bossy's complimented by that kind of a tactic. Here's Hunter here as he's draped all over him, reaching out. He's not playing the puck at all. He's ripping away at the head of Bossy. You see the laces? He tries to get the glove laces along the face of Bossy and then rip them, try to tear them open. Takes a lot of intelligence to do that, doesn't it? It's guys like Hunter that make hockey get a bad name. Some people say it's like wrestling and roller derby, and it's because of plays like that. Unfortunately, the game has to swallow them up.
The game much maligned, and again during this series, the showcase of the Stanley Cup, hockey at its best. 1:20 left on the clock. The minor officials tonight, the off-ice officials, again from Madison Square Garden to work the Ranger games in the regular season. Here's Persson into the Edmonton zone, got the puck to Goring. Goring lost it. It's taken by Persson. Stefan Persson shoots it into the corner. Nystrom ran into Fogelin. Nystrom comes up with the puck. Not get it out in front of the net, however. Nystrom around to John Tonelli. Tonelli's pass cut off. Tonelli picks it up himself, takes a look in front, goes back to the net, threaded it to the blue line for Persson. Persson out of Potvin. Potvin over to John Tonelli. Shoots, that hit the side of the net. Tonelli with it again. He is checked. Persson got it right back to Tonelli. To Goring. Butch Goring to Nystrom. His shot was bouncing, and finally Moog able to cover up and hold on.
They don't want to give Edmonton time to pull the goaltender. Not that it's going to make any difference, but they're going to just make assurances as they keep the puck in Edmonton's end of the ice.
They're working on their third power play tonight. Their 9th of the series without having the benefit of the power play goal for the New York Islanders.
I'm glad you reminded me, Jiggs. I forgot all about the fact that in the penalty box, wow, I'm sorry, it's Hunter.
That's all right. This one is just about into the record book as Potvin holds the puck at the blue line. Now gives it to Jonsson. Back to Potvin. Potvin into the corner for Dwayne Sutter to Denny Potvin. He lets a shot fly. He's deflected to score. Brent Sutter. Now there's your power play goal, folks.
Potvin took the shot, and Brent Sutter, standing directly in front of Andy Moog, got in front of it. It deflected off his leg or his skate and went in behind. It has not had any effect on the hockey game, but the Islanders love it. Their fans love it. There's the shot. There it is off the left skate of Brent Sutter, and it's in the net. 5-1 now. Brent Sutter continues his scoring pace.
So we count down the final 15 seconds of victory number 3 in the 1983 Stanley Cup Final. That's a long shot. Cleared around the boards by Morrow and out into center ice. Fan and Dwayne Sutter. There's the horn ending game 4. And the Islanders come pouring off the bench to congratulate Billy Smith, who gave up only 1 goal tonight. And for 3 consecutive games has stopped Wayne Gretzky. The Oilers disappointed as they head for the dressing room at the far end of the ice. There's something going on at the Edmonton bench that the referee and 2 linesmen are involved in. Glenn Sather having his hands full with his hockey team, and now he is threatening a fan. He's being restrained by the trainers. And some fans goading the Edmonton coach, I should say. Some other fans are being warned down at the other end of the bench. But the Islanders have taken game 3. Our final score is the New York Islanders 5. The Edmonton Oilers 1. We'll be back with a recap and the highlights following these messages.
At Manufacturers Hanover, we make the facts work for you. That's why you're coming to us for the facts on savings, facts on credit needs. You're also calling our special fact phones, using our fact coupons and fact sheets, attending our free fact seminars. You're even getting the facts and cash from our MHT 24-hour banking centers. So keep coming to Manufacturers Hanover Trust, where our facts make your money worth more.
Look where the facts got us.
Ever get the feeling you'd like your car to perform as well as it can? That's why stunt driver Tom Anthony uses mobile detergent gasoline. After all, a clean carburetor performs better. It's as simple as that. Mobile detergent gasoline. For your everyday driving needs.
Where does Brian Trottier take his best shot?
SportsChannel.
SportsChannel, the home of the home teams.
The Islanders 1 step closer to Stanley Cup number 4 as they defeat the Edmonton Oilers 5-1 tonight. Shots on goal in the 3rd period by the New York Islanders, 13 for a game total of 28. The Oilers managed 8 shots on goal in the 3rd period. They were outscored 4-0, and they had 34 shots on the night to the Islanders 38. And here's where the Islanders won the hockey game. Tied 1-1 going to period 3. Bob Bourne from Pearson and Langevin at 5-11. Bourne's 8th goal of the playoffs. That turns out to be the winner tonight. Kenny Morrow with a shot from the blue line gets his 4th goal of the playoffs from Trottier and Kallur at 6:21. Then Dwayne Sutter from Bob Bourne and Brent Sutter at 16:43. And Brent Sutter on a power play deflecting Potvin shot at 19:42. And the Islanders win it by a score of 5-1. But again, it was the third period that did in the Edmonton Oilers. The Islanders used that trick against Boston successfully. Used it against the Rangers, I think back particularly game number 6 in that series. The Oilers have to do an awful lot of soul searching. They did everything that you could expect them to do tonight, but couldn't beat Billy Smith. What's left?
Lorne Henning usually puts it right, Jiggs. If you'd have seen him at the end of the second period, he'd have said, we tired them out in our end of the ice. But you know, when you think about it quickly, if you think of the Islanders all season long, did not play well, frustrated, made a lot of mistakes in their own end, gave the puck away. They did all of those things in the first 2 periods. But Billy Smith, as did Roland Melanson all season long, kept the other team from getting too many goals. And all of a sudden, when they really had to get it going, 1 period away from losing a game to the Edmonton Oilers at the way and the pace that they were going, they just turned the tap on, and it was all there. It came gushing out. And in the third period, 1 minute and 10 seconds apart, they'd salted away the game.
Well, the Islanders win it 5-1. We'll have more from the Nassau Coliseum. But first, these messages.
Oh, you enjoy being buried in the sand.
Would good friends really play this hard for a beer? Well, it is Michelob Light, the rich, smooth taste you can compare to any beer you like.
Michelob Light for the winners.
The sea, the sun, the sand.
The check.
The check.
For everybody who's been making do and doing without, the Bank of New York introduces the Goodbye Loan.
Goodbye, old clunker.
Besides auto loans,
Goodbye, Dockside Blue.
we've got loans for boats and home improvement loans. So say goodbye to just getting by.
Goodbye, old paint.
With the Goodbye Loan, only from the Bank of New York. Annual percentage rate for home improvement loans now reduced to as low as 13.25%.
Islanders 5, Oilers 1, and again tonight Wayne Gretzky is blanked as far as goal scoring is concerned. I don't recall him being shut down in 3 consecutive games at any time. I'm sure that it's probably happened somewhere along the line, but that's a credit to Billy Smith, and it's got to be a bitter disappointment to that young man who is the most prolific scorer in the game today.
Frustration, Jiggs. You could see it coming in the third period. Gretzky yelling at the linesman on a couple of plays. One was just a simple offside, but you know, when you're a star, you don't need to lower yourself to that. The play was no question offside. He was arguing over where the face-off should be. That's not the sign of a superstar, so he'd lost his cool. And as I pointed out at the beginning of the hockey game, that you have to look back. You have to look at the leadership of that team. 2 years ago, the team was something. 2 years later, the team is much better, but I'm questioning the management end of it. I don't think it's improved as much as the team.
Now, from the Islander standpoint, you pointed out the second period, wearing them down, wearing Edmonton down, if you want to look at it from that respect. But they just kept their poise every game. There was one little incident tonight, the stick swinging thing with Clark Gillies. Something had to prompt that, and I can only think that it was a throwback to the second game in Edmonton when Lumley got into that situation with Billy Smith.
Yes, but I don't think that that's in the best interest of the Islanders, and it's not in the best interest of Clark Gillies. It was a flagrant attempt. Now, if Clark Gillies knew, and it's very difficult to tell from here, it was behind the play, that he was just kind of warning him. Clark Gillies has never been the kind of player that ever had to injure anybody with his hockey stick. If he was that mad at him, he would take his gloves off and confront him with his fists. And I'm very surprised if sometimes players will give a warning. And if that's what he was doing, then fine. He certainly sent a message to Lumley. Lumley went down on the ice more out of trying to draw a penalty, a 5-minute penalty like Billy Smith got the other night. And, of course, at that point in the hockey game, a 5-minute penalty to the Islanders would have been disastrous. But it didn't happen that way. Lumley got up, and he was all right. So you think back quickly to the Anderson incident. Seemed to be nothing wrong with him the next night. The Gretzky incident, obviously nothing wrong with him because he continued to play and played very well after that. and then again Lumley does it. So the tactics of the Edmonton Oilers, not honorable.
And we have to take a look, too, and the plus side of the line of Bob Bourne on left wing, Brent Sutter at center ice, Dwayne Sutter on right wing. They were in on all 4 of those third-period goals. They've been a thorn in the side of so many teams. It's particularly pleasant, I'm sure, for Brent and Dwayne, since they live so close to Edmonton, or at least were raised in that area, go back in the off-season, and they can go back with a big smile on their face this summer.
Somebody else that was outstanding in the game, Jiggs, while it wasn't so much evident in the score as far as scoring and assists, I thought Brian Trottier played one of his best games in the playoffs tonight. He was very solid. Only the one move by Gretzky at the face-off when they got the goal, did he look like he wasn't really sure of himself, or that Gretzky just totally outguessed him. But throughout the rest of the game, the penalty killing, the power plays, didn't have that many power plays, but he did. He played a solid game, the kind of game that you expect from Brian Trottier.
I agree, and I also think of the hits that Dave Langevin threw in this game, taking the body tonight. So once again, our final scores, the New York Islanders 5 and the Edmonton Oilers 1. Now stay tuned for New York Islander wrap-up, coming up next, right here on Sports Channel.
New York Islander hockey has been sponsored in part by Michelob Light, an exceptional light beer with the rich, smooth taste. By Manufacturers Hanover Trust, where our facts make your money worth more. By Chevy Trucks and your local Chevrolet dealer, who invite you to see the new Chevy S10s for 1983. By Eastern Airlines, America's favorite way to fly. By Mobile Detergent Gasoline, it treats dirt like dirt. And by Golden Nugget Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, the Shooter's Paradise.
Catch all the action of New York Yankee baseball this Monday night at 7:30 when the Bronx Bombers go up against the Detroit Tigers, only on Sports Channel.
On Memorial Day, these stands will echo the thunder of the Indy 500, and Goodyear will be here. But right now, you should be at Goodyear because Goodyear's Memorial Day sale is on now. Save on radials, light truck tires, and more. Plus the entire line of Goodyear Eagle high-performance radials. Come to Goodyear now, because on Memorial Day, it'll be too late. Save with #1, Goodyear. The sale ends May 28th.
In fine restaurants all over America, more and more people are ordering in German.
Beck's.
Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
I'm a Long Island homeowner with a growing family. And you know what that means. Too many people and not enough space. With prices the way they are, we had to do the best we could. Well, thanks to Long Island Trust, we've turned our basement into a rec room. And with 3 kids, believe me, it's sometimes a wreck. Anyway, they've got growing room, and we have a home improvement loan at one of the best rates on Long Island.
Call Long Island Trust, 516-294-2495.
This is it. It's
Crazy Eddie's greatest clearance sale ever. Crazy Eddie's soul-lashing prices on specially marked items in his enormous inventory. Stereo equipment, video equipment, color TVs, car stereo CVs, telephone equipment, disco equipment, and professional products. Plus an unbelievable selection of floor samples and demonstrators, all with full manufacturer's warranties and most priced at or below cost. It's Crazy Eddie's greatest clearance sale ever, going on right now with prices that are insane.
Crazy Eddie, 12 great locations. Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Syosset, Paramus, East Brunswick, Union, Westchester, Westbury, and Norwalk.
Stan Fischler here at Nassau Coliseum, where the New York Islanders produced a 5-1 victory over the Edmonton Oilers. They are now leading the series 3-0, and the man on my right, one of many, many heroic figures for the Islanders, Denny Potvin, the captain. Denny, your impressions of tonight's game?
Well, Stan, I think that we came home, we were a little nervous. The first 2 periods, we were a little tight. I felt it in me, and after the second period, it got to the point where we just blew up. We just couldn't handle it anymore. We talked it out, we yelled it out, and we got pumped up for the third. Third period, we felt it might have meant the whole series. 3-0 lead or a 2-1 lead in the series, and we wanted that 3-0 lead, so we went out and played pretty well in that third.
It appeared to me that the Islanders were playing in 3 gears for 2 periods, and then in the third period, you went to 4th and 5th and overdrive, because the way that club was flying, it was just astonishing in the third period.
The funny thing and the misconception about sports is that you come back home and you think you've got an edge. And in playoff hockey, you shouldn't be thinking that way. And I think in the first 2 periods, we went out there and we felt, well, this guy's going to score a lot of goals tonight maybe. Not thinking, damn, I have to do the work. I have to work very hard. And it was only by the third period that we started realizing that 20 guys had to go out and work their, work as best that they could to produce a win. And as we decided to do that and we went out and accomplished it, we pumped in 4 and just took the game away.
For those who may not have read the story in Newsday, Denny Potvin's dad has been home ill in Ottawa, and the question was whether your dad would be able to come here and actually see any of the games. What is the status? Will he be coming?
Dad, not wanting to give me an edge, said, you have to go out and win the game tonight for me to come down. So we've got the victory, and Dad will be down tomorrow night or Monday early in the day, and he'll be here for the 4th game. Happy you're coming, Dad.
Denny, Bill Mazer, the broadcaster, and myself have had a number of arguments about your greatness, and I think we've agreed now that you've lifted yourself beyond Doug Harvey as a defenseman. How do you feel? Do you feel that you're at the very peak of your game right now?
Sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. I don't. I always try and refer to, the games to my golf game. I'm sort of an 18 handicapper, and I'll go out and shoot a 78, and I'll come back in mad as hell that I missed 3 putts. And so it seems like I'm never really satisfied in my game. There's always room for improvement, but when people come and tell me the records I'm setting and the pace I'm setting, especially in playoff, it's awfully satisfying.
I'm going to come back with Dennis and ask him why Al Arbour was not smiling when he left the ice after the game, right after this message.
Join Harvey Pack as he puts you on the fast track for the most comprehensive racing coverage on Thoroughbred Action, Wednesday through Monday nights at 6:30 and 11, only on SportsChannel.
To sell cars around New York, you've got to have what it takes. And your Chrysler Plymouth dealer's got it. Look, America's best-selling 6-passenger front-wheel drive car is Plymouth Reliant K. We got it. America's best protection is 5 years, 50,000 miles. We give it. Ford and GM don't. Look around. You won't find what your Chrysler Plymouth dealers got anywhere else. We're Lee Iacocca's guys. We got what it takes.
And now we've got the lowest financing, 9.8% or $300 cash on new Plymouth Reliance.
Getty, I take my cap off to you. You're selling regular gasoline at a great price.
Getty, I take my cap off to you. Your Getty Gold motor oil helps protect my engine even when it's 105 in the shade.
People everywhere are taking their caps off to Getty. Because Getty's got the grades of gasoline for just about any car on the road today.
Getty, I take my cap off to you.
Take your cap off to Getty.
The man who wants it all knows just how to get it.
how to get the same designer clothes the department stores have without paying designer prices. He goes to NBO because NBO has it all for a lot less.
Except shoes.
Everything except shoes.
Hi, I'm Jerry Deutsch, and I'd like to tell you about Deutsch Jewelers. At Deutsch Jewelers, we offer quality merchandise and personal service at unbeatable prices. Deutsch Jewelers features a wide selection of Pulsar watches. Pulsar, known for style and dependability, always a beat beyond. Come to New York's #1 jeweler in Hicksville, Queens, and Manhattan.
Stan Fischler here at Nassau Coliseum, where the Islanders triumphed 5-1 over the Edmonton Oilers, and my guest is a man who is a Gibraltar at the blue line and a dynamo on the attack, Denny Potvin. And I mentioned before that at the end of the game, the camera zeroed in on Coach Al Arbour. He did not have a smile on his face. Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. He came in the dressing room, and before we had time to shake hands and congratulate ourselves, he said, "Guys, there's still another game left before you win this series. Take care of yourselves. Go home and rest." Typical Al Arbour, and he's the reason why character is such a big factor in our team. We don't rest until we win, and we're not satisfied until that final buzzer's over and the cup's in our hands.
Before the game, there's been a tremendous amount of ink in the paper about the feuding between the teams and so on and so forth, and Jiggs and Eddie zeroed in on a conference between yourself, captain of the Oilers, Lee Fogelin, and referee Brian Lewis. What did Lewis have to say?
Well, there was simply that Mr. Lewis was stating his dominance, his ground. He was going to take charge of the game. He said actually quoting him, he said that was written in the press is all hype, has nothing to do with tonight's game. I'm going to be in charge of the game tonight. You guys know what to do if a ruckus breaks out, and good luck, guys, going out. Much like a boxing official sending 2 fighters to each corner and then come out and fight, but just do it under the rules of the game, and then we feel it's up to the referee to control it, and after that it's his ball game, I suppose.
Denny, you've made some plays that were so outstanding. The New York Times did a whole column on one play that you made. Tonight, how fatigued have you been? How fatigued were you at the end of the game?
Since Dave Langevin has been back the last couple of games, it's helped quite a bit, and especially in tonight's game, we played fairly regularly with 6 defensemen. We didn't have too many power play opportunities, and we certainly didn't have to kill too many penalties, so that really cuts down on the amount of time I have to be on the ice. We can keep the flow going, and I'd rather see that, but as it is, you know, if I'm on the ice 40 minutes or if I'm on the ice 25 minutes, that time I end up spending on a bench is as nerve-wracking as if I was out there. So I don't end up being any less fresh at the end of the game. I just seem to do what I have to do and hopefully do it with strength, poise, and a little dominance.
Dennis, before you go, is there any change in strategy you think the Oilers might come up with for game number 4?
I've always felt that in playoff hockey, if a team changes their mode of play, they're going to just be in more trouble. So I don't think we can expect anything different from the Oilers, just the intensity that a cornered team is going to show. And if we can sort of corral that and do our job, we should come up with another victory.
Denny Potvin, once again, heroic for the Islanders on defense and offense as they beat the Oilers for the 3rd straight time. And now to Jiggs McDonald.
All right, Stan, when Ed and I return to the Nassau Coliseum, Eddie will be bringing you the highlights of tonight's 5-1 victory, and we'll check out the day in New York sports as well. The Islander postgame show continues following these messages.
I'm a Long Island homeowner with a growing family, and you know what that means. Too many people and not enough space. With prices the way they are, we had to do the best we could. Well, thanks to Long Island Trust, we've turned our basement into a rec room. And with 3 kids, believe me, it's sometimes a wreck. Anyway, they've got growing room, and we have a home improvement loan at one of the best rates on Long Island.
Call Long Island Trust, 516-294-2495.
The
action is back at the Big A. Come out to Aqueduct for a chance to win. It's unlike any casino game. It's unlike any lottery. It's unlike any card game. It's unlike anything you've ever taken a chance on. So if you haven't been winning lately, maybe you're playing the wrong game. Aqueduct and the Equestris Restaurant, featuring trackside dining, open every day except Tuesday. Winning at the Big A. It's an unbeatable feeling.
Picture 3 of the world's finest motor cars, and take that picture and place it in a showcase. That showcase, Rally Motors in Glen Cove. From our luxurious line of BMWs and our exquisite collection of Rolls-Royce to our incomparable display of the magnificent Mercedes-Benz. Come see the treasured ones at New York's finest automobile dealership, Rally Motors, home of precious metals.
Oh, if we got your number, CBS FM 101.
CBS FM's got my number.
Oh, they've got my number.
Oh, yeah, we've got your number. CBS FM 101.
Some of our guests receive a gift from the Halloran House Hotel featuring Biff's Place, an intimate night spot with live entertainment, music and dancing after 8, and popular 5 to 7 weeknight happy hour, the Halloran House.
Well, the question is, you see, first Edmonton player to receive a penalty in the NHL. Not that long ago, they've only been in the league 4 years. Would you believe it was Wayne Gretzky versus the Blackhawks back in 1979?
An unlikely character to be getting a penalty.
Sure is. The Islanders have won Game 3 of this best-of-7 series, winning it 5-1, taking a 3-0 lead in the series. Eddie will have the highlights in a moment. Let's bring you up to date on what's happened today in New York sports. First of all, in baseball, the Yankees were winners today as we check out the American League scoreboard this afternoon. The Yankees defeated the White Sox by a score of 8-5. Bob Shirley got the win. Goose Godsey, John in relief, picks up a save in that. Brett Burns was the loser for Chicago, and there are no home runs in the ball game. You see what's happening in Pittsburgh. They're in the 9th inning with the Mets leading the Pirates 5-2. George Foster got that one off to a good start. Three-run homer in the first for the Mets. Neil Allen started. He was relieved by Jesse Orozco in the 7th. Larry McWilliams, the left-hander, starting for Pittsburgh tonight. Then he was relieved by Manny Sarmiento in the 7th. Rod Scurry is on in the 9th inning for Pittsburgh, but the Mets are leading 5-2. Well, the story here, the Islanders leading the series 3-0. I don't think anybody thought that the series would be 3-0 after 3 games.
You'd have to be insane to pick any team in this series to have won it in 4 straight. The Islanders have a pretty good opportunity, and the opportunity came because of Game 3, because of Billy Smith initially, particularly in the first 2 periods.
Can I interrupt just for one moment? There is one person who did say it would be 3-0, one wacky cameraman that we have on crew.
Well, cameramen are a little bit like that, so we don't have to apologize for them, Jiggs. But anyway, without them, we would be nothing. So we appreciate it. He wants to pick it 4 straight. He's allowed, and he's probably going to be the only one, and he may be right. He just may be right. But Game 3, an exciting hockey game for the Edmonton Oilers through the first 2 periods. We're going to show you some of the saves that Billy Smith was called upon to make in the first 2 periods. Let's go to that action and see why the Islanders stayed in the hockey game and didn't fall behind. Here's Wayne Gretzky. Watch Stefan Pearson now. If you ask him, number 7, he's going to say, I wanted the goal. Well, maybe we'll see it. Let's see what we go. Right here, Butch Goring is going to take a draw with Ray Cote. Now he pulls the puck right back to Charlie Huddy. Huddy hit the goalpost earlier in the hockey game. There's the shot. Billy Smith made the save off that fine shot. Edmonton win the face-off. They won a lot of face-offs throughout the hockey game. Billy Smith makes the save off the shot of Charlie Huddy. Smith covers up well. Islander defenseman covering up in front of Billy Smith. Dennis Potvin, Gordy Lane. One of the things that makes the job just a little bit easier for Billy Smith is the fact that his defensemen give him a lot of help.
Wayne Gretzky had a couple of opportunities, but he did not get the kind of opportunities that Wayne Gretzky is used to getting. Watch Stefan Pearson here as he pulls up and pulls out of the way. Don't like to see that. I'd like to see them challenge the shooter. Billy Smith got a look at it just in time. He got that big catching mitt out and pulled it in. Here's the grace of Wayne Gretzky as he unloads a slap shot. I should remind you that Wayne Gretzky does not have a terrifying slap shot. He does not have a terrifying wrist shot, but the one thing he does have, he has timing and he has accuracy. And they are great attributes to have, and you don't score better than 160 goals in 2 seasons without them. But there's Billy Smith as he pulls in a Wayne Gretzky shot. Smith was busy, as we talked about throughout the first 2 periods. The Oilers had 11 shots in the first period, 15 in the second. Here's Ralston as he broke in all alone. He opted to shoot from well out. Billy Smith knew it. Look at how far out he's standing. Had he been standing further back in the net, that puck would have been across the goal line. Gord Lane helped out his goaltender again, as he did time and again, and saved the puck from going. Actually, the puck was going a little wider than that, Jiggs, but the point I was trying to make is a goaltender that stayed back in the net, that one would have gone in.
And he has not stayed back in the net. He has been just miraculous. I find
his angles, his timing, and you know, just the fact that earlier in the hockey game, when Anderson was in challenging him, remember, in the second period, and he just turned his back to him as Anderson circled the cage like a tiger wanting to leap on him. Billy Smith, kept showing him his back, and it was kind of like taunting him without saying anything at all. There were goals in the hockey game. There were 5 for the Islanders and 1 for the Edmonton Oilers. It was 1-1. The teams locked in a deadlock before someone had to make it 2-1. Obviously, it was the New York Islanders. Let's go to that goal and see how it happened. Here's Stefan Pearson as he brings the puck in, tees it up, and lets it fly. He got a good chunk of that one. Andy Moe got a piece of it also. The puck bounced loose. Look at Dave Langevin as he interferes on Charlie Huddy, the defenseman, so that Bob Bourne can get a hold and get control of the puck and then drop it into the net. Here's the play again, right in front of the net. Andy Moe goes down as he made the initial play on the puck, but the loose puck in front of the net, and Bob Bourne put it in. There's the hard shot by Stefan Pearson. Watch 22 now as he tries to go and get the puck. Doesn't make it. Bob Bourne gets in front of him with a little help from Dave Langevin, and Bourne got his 8th goal from Pearson and Langevin. That came at 5:11 and made the score 2-1 for the New York Islanders. A minute and 10 seconds later, the Islanders can strike. They can strike almost as well offensively as the Edmonton Oilers. Here's some of the heavy play through the center ice area. Brian Trottier picks it up from Mike Bossy. Trottier holds the puck. He holds the puck, then makes the play across the ice. And here's the wrist shot by Ken Morrow. Probably the only weak goal in the game. They caught Andy Moe going to his left. Morrow shot it back from whence he came, and Kenny Morrow got his 4th playoff goal. Trottier and Kallur assisting at 6:21, and that made the score 3-1. And the Islanders were pulling away, and pull away they did. Dwayne Sutter and Brent Sutter each got goals after that, and they made it a 5-1 victory. Impressive 3rd period for the Islanders when they looked almost as impressive. What's the word? Doesn't matter. They didn't look very impressive in the first 2.
No, they did not. Did not get started well tonight. Led 1-0 at the end of the first period. I mentioned, I believe, earlier, let me correct it, that the line of Bob Bourne and the 2 Sutters were in on all 4 goals in the 3rd period. They were not. They were in on 3. But that's not going to mean a whole lot. When Edmonton did pick up that extra shot on goal at the end of the second period, it did go to Wayne Gretzky, and he ends up with 4 tonight. But the Islanders have won it 5-1, lead the series 3-0. Let's rejoin Stan Fischler down in the studio.
Thank you, Jiggs and Eddie. And, of course, the question coming up is going to be what sort of strategy is going to be thought about by Glenn Sather, the coach and general manager of the Edmonton Oilers, for Game 4. Now, let's remember, let's have a historic perspective. There have been series in the past where teams have come back from being 3 down. We saw the Islanders do it a few years ago against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And, of course, in 1942, the Toronto Maple Leafs were down 3-0 to the Detroit Red Wings. And Coach Hap Day, who was the leader of the Maple Leafs, he made a drastic move. He benched 2 of his stars. He benched Gordie Drillin, who was the leading scorer on the team, and Bucko McDonald, who was his #1 defenseman, and he brought up 2 unknowns, a guy named Ernie Dickens, a defenseman, and a 4th-string forward named Don Metz. And these 2 guys sort of were a catalyst for the Maple Leafs, and of course the Leafs went on and they won 4 straight. My question to Jiggs and Eddie is, do you think Glenn Sather will do something dramatic like that? Do you think Glenn Sather, for example, might start Grant Fuhr instead of Andy Moog? So I throw it to you two guys, and let me know what you think.
Well, Eddie, you played with Slats, did you not?
Yes, I did.
You know his mind better than I do. I would be reluctant to think that he would make any dramatic change like that, but he does have a flair for the showbiz aspect. Do you think he will?
No.
Okay.
How about that Ernie Dickens? You probably don't remember. Yes, you do. Whitby Dunlops won the World Hockey Championship. Stan, you continue to pull them out of the hat. Ernie Dickens was reinstated as an amateur, went to play for the Whitby Dunlops, and they won the World Hockey Championship back in around, what, 1952? Yeah, something 52. Like that. But anyway, I don't think that Glenn Sather can reach that far into the bag. He might, but I doubt it. He's been receiving good goaltending from Andy Moog. It's not the goaltending that has made the difference. It's really the whole defensive structure, the thing that breaks down with the Edmonton Oilers whenever they've had problems in games, whether it be playoff or regular season. So I really think he's got to shoot the works with what he's got, the way he's been doing it, and hope that the Islanders play like they did in the first 2 periods when he had a chance then, his best chance so far, of winning a hockey game, and then, of course, playing it a shift at a time. That's the old Islander adage and the Al Arbor way of doing things. Break it down. We've got 4 games in a row to win. We can't win the 4th game until we win the first one, and we can't win that until we win the first shift. So let's do the first shift, the second shift, the first period, and so on. And that's the way the Islanders break down their game plans, and that's the way that I remember doing it along with the Islander teammates in 1975 against Pittsburgh, and it's exactly the way it was done. So really, he doesn't have any other choice.
No, I don't think he does either. The Edmonton Oilers did get a chance to move the puck around much better tonight. It was like you had seen them in the regular season. If you'd seen them against Islanders or most other teams, they moved the puck around, and you could see why or how they scored so many goals in the regular season. Just that the Islanders shut them down when it came time to put the puck in the net, or at least the shot on goal, and win it 5-1. Stan, you have some further comments?
Just two other points, guys, and I think perhaps if there isn't a change of goaltenders by the Edmonton Oilers, I think Glenn Sather might be thinking of 2 things. One is, can he try to wear the Islanders down by more checking? And this is one part of my question. The second part of it is, can he do anything to unshackle Wayne Gretzky? And those are my last 2 questions for you.
Well, I think they're checking, wearing down, as you call it, some of the people that they feel they have to. But they just don't have the depth to wear down line after line. No matter who he sends out there, 1 line or 2 lines might be able to do it, but his third isn't able to wear down whoever the Islanders throw at them. And that's why you're seeing people like Bourne and the 2 Sutters come through, and if they wear them down, then you're going to see Bossy, Trottier, and whoever's on left wing come through.
In that point, Jiggs, you have to remember that while the Edmonton Oilers have speed, they do not have the physical strength and the endurance that the Islanders have. And I don't care if there's an average of 2 years of age from one team to the other. The Islanders have more stamina, and they have more wearing power, the same thing, stamina. That's their forte, or fort, is to wear other teams down. And I don't think the Edmonton Oilers, they can only throw this game into a wide open. I would think that they're going to try that. They've tried it before. It didn't work because the Islanders won't play for it, but they're going to have to continually try it. The Edmonton Oilers, over the game so far, have tried different things. And I think that's what's hurt them a great deal, is the inconsistency in not going into Game 1, playing a tremendous game in Game 1, and then not doing the same thing all the way through Game 2. They could see them change. They started to run around on their own end, and that's what the Islanders wait for. They don't sit back and wait for it, but they just look for